Later things developed as Fang Bing remembered. Loki controls the destroyer to attack Thor directly. Want to kill him. And the 4 warriors of Asgard headed by Sif. Thor, who was sealed to protectability, take the initiative to confront the destroyer. But because the strength is too far apart, it was quickly defeated. All were injured. He was almost killed on the spot by the destroyer. Just when Loki controlled the destroyer to make up for it. When killing these disobedient Asgard warriors, Thor took the initiative to stand up and mocked. Attracts Loki's aggro away. At this point, Fang Bing knew his chance had come. He told Sky to stand where he was and wait. Open a portal with one hand. Came straight to an Asgard warrior. My dear warriors of Asgard, I can heal your wounds. The badly wounded Asgard warrior looked at the portal in front of him. Dubious. I am a bit confused about the number of Fang Bing. But looking at the front, Thor was almost killed by the destroyer. You can only seize the opportunity in front of you. Nodded. Signal Fang Bing to start healing. But Fang Bing took the risk to step forward, not just to heal his wounds. He took out a medicine box from his pocket. It contained some round pills. Take out one. Pass it to the Asgard champion. Take it first, this is a healing medicine for treatment. The warriors of Asgard smell the medicine, no doubt. I swallowed it in one gulp. Fang Bing saw how obedient he was. Also activated the healing ability on his 09 wound. Strong stimulation came from the wound. It made the face of the Asgard warrior turn red immediately. Don't care about anything else for the next moment. He reached out and pressed down. Fine. Fang Bing released his healing energy with all his strength this time. The wounds healed quickly. The thrill of ecstasy disappears when the treatment is over. Fang Bing didn't wait for the flushed Asgard warrior to speak. He opened the portal directly and left him. Next moment, the portal came to another wounded Asgard warrior. Follow the procedure just now again, soon. Fang Bing finished feeding the 3 Asgard warriors. But in the end, it encountered obstacles in the Sif goddess of war. What do you want? I saw their expressions just now, you definitely have a problem. Sif is indeed a goddess. Concave and convex up and down. The appearance is exquisite and beautiful. Even sitting on the ground looks tall, with long and straight legs. Wearing black silk is absolutely superb. But Fang Bing has no time to appreciate her beauty now. Because goddess Sif is very incooperative, she was obviously the most injured. Just now, he was beaten up for jumping on the body of the destroyer. But she saw it. The wretched appearance of the 3 male Asgard warriors who were treated by Fang Bing just now. That's why Fang Bing is full of precautions. I just want to heal you, how can you think of me like that? Well, since that's the case, I can only. Sif heard Fang Bing's words. Thought he was leaving. I suddenly began to wonder if I had wronged a good person. After all, her other 3 companions had already been healed. But she hasn't apologized yet. Fang Bing's next sentence made her realize something was wrong. Since this is the case, for your own good, I can only treat you forcibly. Fang Bing finished speaking with a serious face. He pinched her pretty face. The other hand took out a pill. Opened her mouth. Put the pills in. But Sif has a pill in his mouth. Just wouldn't swallow it. I advise you to swallow it, otherwise, for your own good, I can only poke it down. What do you think I will use? He threatened with a smirk. Gudong. Fang Bing just finished speaking. Sif quickly swallowed the pill. After all, facing the threat of this man. It's scary no matter how you look at it. Fang Bing saw that she was obedient. Healing energy was released as usual to start treating Sif. Facing a sudden strong and special stimulating feeling. Although it has lived for thousands of years. But she had never felt this way. After goddess Sif yelled, she forcibly held back. She trembled. Tears are almost left, as for whether it flows elsewhere. Because the battle armor she wore was too tight. Fang Bing couldn't see it either. After healing the wounded goddess Sif. Ignoring her strange resentful eyes, directly opened a portal and left. Because his task today has been completed, the goals have all been met. He has drawn all the skill lists of the 4 Asgard warriors. At the moment, in the palace of Asgard, Odin lay in bed watching Thor on Earth. But he didn't enter Odin's sleep at all as the outside world thought. Asgard includes everything that happens on Earth. All from his handwriting. The purpose of everything is to let his biological son Thor grow up as soon as possible. Be truly king of Asgard as soon as possible, because Odin has realized that his life is coming soon. He has lived too long. He himself can't count how many years he lived. Although Asgard people have a long lifespan, but that doesn't mean eternal life. This time after the body died, he will be left with nothing but his soul. Still going strong though, can still exist in this universe. But they can no longer resist those powerful enemies of the past. After those strong enemies in the evening heard that he was dead, will come to Asgard for revenge. If that time comes, he dares to appear in a soul state. That will definitely destroy the soul. The only way to do that is as soon as possible before the body dies. Raised his son Thor. Become the new lord of the gods. Become the new patronus of Asgard. That's why he took the opportunity to set up this test. And now, there were variables in his test. He discovered this variable as early as yesterday. At that time he heard this variable ahead of time before the mortals of the earth. Called out Thor's identity. Also see this variant delivering food for Thor. It's just that Odin didn't care then, just a little curious. But until today, this variable heals the wounds of Thor's 4 friends. Only then did it affect his plans. Originally Odin's script was: the destroyer wounds Thor's friend. Force him to fight with his back without ability. Bear the responsibility of the king. Thus allowing Thor to awakening a sliver of Thor's power. To achieve the purpose of tempering him. But now those Asgard warriors who were wounded by the destroyer are healed again. How did Thor fight back? If you see this man who heals the warriors of Asgard. Used Kamar Taj's portal. Odin has now let the destroyer go. Surprisingly, this variable was resolved when Odin saw Fang Bing use the portal. The first reaction is that this is the disciple of Ancient One. Because of this teleportation spell, as far as he knows, only those of Kamar Taj have inheritance, since he is a disciple of Ancient One. Then Odin can understand why this person would know Thor's true identity before. After all, Ancient One is Sorcerer Supreme. Also owns the time gem that can predict the future. It is not surprising that his disciples knew the identity of his son. Face the Ancient One. Odin is true though. But also do not want to provoke, so for Fang Bing unintentionally sabotaged his plan. It's not easy to punish, can only try to make up for it. So, the situation on the battlefield suddenly changed. The destroyer who was hunting Thor, he turned his head and ran towards the 4 Asgard warriors who had recovered from their injuries. 3 times 5 divisions 2. The beaten Sif and others fell to the ground again. 430's injury was worse than before. Destroyer does it all. Then he stepped forward to attack Thor again. Continue what you just didn't finish. Loki in Asgard. Originally controlling the destroyer. Or, he thought he was manipulating the destroyer. But until this moment, discovered that the destroyer turned against others without his will. It was as if he realized something, but he didn't dare to turn his head to look at Odin lying on the bed. As if nothing had happened, continue to control the destroyer to kill Thor. After Fang Bing left the battlefield in the small town, I didn't pay attention to how the follow-up battle would develop. Not to mention that he escaped unharmed by being surrounded by the Ancient One boss. All he cares about now is the ability he just acquired. Asgard people. Sif, special Asgard divine physique. As an Asgard, she has a long life, strong recovery and defense power, and the older she is, the stronger she is. Super Melee Combat LV9. She honed her super melee combat skills during her long combat career. Super Physique LV6. As an Asgard, she has a physique 6 times higher than that of ordinary people. Divine Power IV2. As one of the Asgard female war gods, she is born with supernatural power, which is twice as powerful as the elite fighters of Asgard. Super Reaction IV5. As the goddess of war in Asgard, she has honed a very strong reaction ability in the battlefield. After Fang Bing checked the ability lists of the 4 Asgardians, it is found that their special abilities are basically the same. Among them, Sif has the strongest fighting ability. The other 3 are worse, but they are all beyond the level of Asgard's elite fighters. Otherwise, it is impossible to become friends with Thor, the son of Odin, in the 9 realms. After reading old rules, Fang Bing began to make a wish to the Ancient One boss. Because he has gone through many experiments, it is discovered that the boss of Ancient One is the most ingenious. Draw. Congratulations on obtaining 1000 cups of not drunk IV2. Congratulations on obtaining Divine Power 2. Congratulations on obtaining Super Physique IV6. Congratulations on getting Asgard Tap Dance LV8. Draw 4 times in a row. Fang Bing feels that with the blessing of Ancient One, he is lucky. He even got 2 combat abilities. It happens to be able to integrate upgrade with the ability you already have. After upgrade, Fang Bing now has it. Divine Power IV6. Your strength is unrivaled, 6 times stronger than the elite fighters of Asgard. Super Physique LV8. Your physique has a strong defense and recovery power, which has reached the level of the royal family of Asgard. After integrate. Fang Bing's divine power IV5 was almost broken through. Now it has become a divine power IV6. Fang Bing feels that his current pure strength should already be able to blast the normal Hulk. Definitely. The premise is not to fight for too long. Otherwise, Fang Bing doesn't have the green skin transformation ability that gets stronger the more angry it gets. The super physique has been stuck at LV7 for a long time. Now I have obtained Sif's super physique, and I have also broken through to level 8. Reached the level where Thor is not sealed, only slightly worse than the Abomination and the Hulk. This level of physique, plus Fang Bing's own healing abilities. He feels that his life has been greatly guaranteed. Human weapons on Earth, it is unlikely to hurt him anymore. Wait for Fang Bing to finish sorting ability. When looking at the battlefield in the town again. The battle is over. The destroyer beat Thor to the point of death. Fell unconscious. There was a moment of silence. Whether it is the agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. watching from afar, or a few friends Thor just met on Earth, even the 4 warriors of Asgard. They already thought he was dead, but how could Odin let him die? After a lot of silence and tears, Thor came into the world. Leap into the air. Awakening a touch of Thor's power. Also lifted the seal that Odin had placed on him. Mjolnir flew back into his hands miles away. I just stared blankly at these ordinary people on the earth. The rest is a simple and neat ending to the battle. Thor, who got the hammer, only took a few strokes. Easily took out the armor of the father of God Odin. The corners of Fang Bing's mouth twitched as he watched. I have some doubts whether this magic Gundam is an imitation. The battle is completely over. People from S.H.I.E.L.D. began to communicate with Thor and other people from Asgard. Fang Bing originally wanted to leave here. After all, I have nothing to do here. But was stopped by Thor. Haha, brother, I remember you, you are the one who brought me food. Thor grabbed Fang Bing's arm and shouted familiarly. Then I pestered Fang Bing. He kept asking where the food came from in his ear. How did you make it? Why didn't he and his Earth friends eat such delicious food in other restaurants? Until Fang Bing couldn't help but asked. Why did you ask me? Thor just slapped his thigh and remembered the business. I heard that you treated Sif's injuries in the battle just now, and now they are seriously injured. Can you please treat them again? Only then did Fang Bing understand why Thor would find him. But he soon wondered again. Isn't this different from what he remembered? How could he be injured again? Could it be that after they were healed, they went to the destroyer to be tough? Fang Bing because he did not see the fighting situation at that time. So just curious, he granted Thor's request. After all, there is no cost to use the healing ability by yourself. Can easily exchange the favors of Thor and Asgard. It is very cost-effective. To know, there are countless Asgardians in the Asgard god realm. If you can go to Asgard in the future and give them a group feeding, I don't have to worry about improving my strength. Follow Thor to the 4 warriors of Asgard who are badly wounded. Start treating them. The 3 male Asgard warriors were all embarrassed when they saw Fang Bing. Before Fang Bing treatment, he already gritted his teeth. Force yourself not to show abnormalities. But Fang Bing is a side effect of healing abilities. It's not something that can be ignored just by will. It is a longing from the deepest part of the body. Trembling from the soul. So even though they bit their lips this time and didn't cry out. But the look on the face, the body's reaction still betrayed them. This leads directly to Thor and the surrounding Iron Man, Natasha Romanoff and others. He began to look at Fang Bing with strange eyes. They don't think it's a matter of the Asgard warriors. The ghosts can see it. How dishonest is the healing ability of the magician Fang Bing in front of him. Fang Bing ignored their gazes. Healed the 3 male Asgard champions. Then she came to the side of the Sif goddess of war who kept her head down and didn't dare to look at Fang Bing. I'm dying. I'll recover slowly myself. Out of the corner of his eye, he saw Fang Bing walking towards her. Sif quickly turned his head and waved his hand to refuse. Since Fang Bing treated her before, she knew that Fang Bing was indeed kind enough to help her heal. Although a little tough with her, but it was for her own good. But she really didn't want to try that taste again. Especially in front of so many people. It's almost like being Fang Bing XX in broad daylight. But Fang Bing didn't care about her so much in her drama. It has been treated once. Why not do it again? Anyway, after the treatment is over, you still have to accept my love. Just reach out. Start treating Sif, really. Sif goddess of war is a woman who says no, but has a very honest body. His face turned red again. Red drip. Half an hour later. The resentful Sif and Asgard people left the Earth in Bifrost's teleportation. The people of S.H.I.E.L.D. who stood there watching the miracle were left behind. Although defeated the destroyer. But Thor and others still need to return to Asgard to thwart Loki's conspiracy to usurp the throne. Asgard. Loki was seeing Thor, who was already on the ground lifeless. After being resurrected suddenly and lifting the body seal. I already understood in my heart, he gave up manipulating the destroyer. Walk quickly to Odin's bed. Why? Is it all because I am not your blood? But I have always regarded you as my real father. If you feel that it is a disgrace to have a son of the ice giant's blood and not worthy of inheriting your throne, why don't you kill me? Kill me now. Loki yelled hysterically at the unconscious Odin on the bed. He was ashamed. I feel that my life is just a joke and a conspiracy. Loki knows that Odin at the moment is probably fake. But he's also no longer afraid of what Odin might do to him. He just wants the father of God who raised him to give him an answer. But Odin remained silent after all. It's like falling into Odin's sleep. Loki, who couldn't wait for an answer, became more and more frantic. Backquote. Since you dislike my bloodline, then I will prove to you that I am your real son. I am qualified to lead Asgard to a powerful king. Loki growled, hurried out of the palace. Came straight to the Bifrost head. He will destroy Jotunheim. Destroy the planet that gave him blood. Kill all the giants of Jotunheim to prove to his father Odin. He, Loki, he is the future king of Asgard. He is the glorious son of Odin, but he couldn't escape Odin's control after all. When Thor and others returned to Asgard, Discovery Loki started using Bifrost to focus energy to destroy Jotunheim. Already awakening Thor, who is the king. How could Loki be allowed to directly destroy the people of a planet? After a lot of fighting, Thor to stop Loki. Blow up Bifrost. Fall off the bridge with Loki. But at the last moment Odin grabbed his hand. Thor was rescued. Also saved the planet of the giants of Jotunheim. But Loki, after seeing Odin appear, but he let go of his hand. Choose to fall into the abyss of the universe. Fang Bing, after Thor and others left, also took Sky out of New Mexico. At Sky's strong suggestion, they didn't go through the portal. Instead, he drove the Quinjet fighter back home. A few days ago, Fang Bing has been looking for someone from S.H.I.E.L.D. Help him strengthen the roof of the villa. Quinjet fighter jets can be parked directly. Definitely a stealthy Quinjet fighter. Otherwise, it would be in the media tabloids all over New York the next day. After returning home, Fang Bing and Sky rested for 2 days. Start preparing to enroll at Columbia University. Because the holidays are over, school starts. As for how Sky could get into Columbia University together. Also assigned to the same major as Fang Bing. That's not difficult at all, because Columbia University is a private university. This means it accepts donations by donation, and things like money. For Fang Bing, who can turn stones into gold. It is as ubiquitous as dirt on Earth. But when Fang Bing and Sky hadn't experienced college campus life for a few days. An unexpected person came to the door. This man has no eyes. But come and go without a trace, while Sky was home alone. Directly in front of her. Want to meet your biological mother? Sky saw the eyeless man suddenly appearing in front of him. Was taken aback, before he could say anything more. Just stretched out a hand. Boom. A strong vibe emanated. The eyeless man was sent flying to the wall. She just wanted to continue shooting. Knock it out. The eyeless man disappeared again with a swish. The reason why she shot, because this is her home. Eyeless people trespassing without permission. Fang Bing once told her, if someone breaks into your home without permission, knock out first and then talk about other things. So even if she heard the words when the eyeless man first appeared. Also only hesitated for half a second, just shot. When the eyeless man appears again, already far away from Sky. I am afraid that she will attack suddenly again. Sky, is your name Sky, right? Don't fight anymore, I'm sent by your mother, she wants to see you. The eyeless man said after appearing again. Sky froze for a moment. My heart is in a mess. The biological mother I have been looking for? She was silent for a while. The first thing I thought of was to tell Fang Bing about this. Because she felt that her mind was in a mess. I don't know what to do. If you want to go with me, then call my name, I will come again. The eyeless man saw Sky standing there silently. Don't dare to stay for long. It disappeared in place with a swish. Send. Sky dialed the handy cell phone. In a minute. Fang Bing walked out of the portal and returned home. He listened to Sky's description. Anger burst into my heart. Jiaying. Gordon the Eyeless, you are really courting death. Fang Bing has never told Sky's life experience. It was because he was afraid that Sky would not be able to accept the truth after he knew it. He thought that even if he wanted to tell her, it would take at least a few years. After Sky was older. Unexpectedly, Jiaying's people came to the door now. As for how they found the door, Fang Bing also slightly guessed 890. Gordon the Eyeless Man's ability is to teleport through space. He can also sense Inhumans who have awakened powers through the Terrigen mists. Whenever a new awakening alien appears in the world, Gordon, the Eyeless Man, would sneak teleport to the afterlife. Both himself and Sky had abilities through the Terrigen mist before. Gordon the Eyeless Man must have noticed it too. And it's been a while since the two of us awakened. Gordon after discovering, it took so long to come to the door alone to take Sky away. It shows that Jiaying has discovered Sky's identity. And maybe you know something about yourself. That's why I hide from myself. Sky stepped forward and hugged Fang Bing tightly. What should I do? Is what the Eyeless Man said true? My mother is looking for me? Fang Bing patted her head. Sighed. Knowing about her life experience can no longer hide it from her. He slowly opened his mouth and told Sky about her mother Jiaying. Lived for thousands of years. Every once in a while, you need to suck living people to continue your life. Countless murders. Just want to conquer the world. Also experimented on her father, forcing her father into a brutal psychopath. Sky cried. She didn't expect that the biological parents she had been searching for more than 10 years turned out to be such people. All the fantasies about family affection in the past have come to naught. Fang Bing hugged her tightly. Look at this poor girl in your arms. I feel bad too. Do you still want to see her? Fang Bing asked after Sky's mood stabilized. Sky looked up. Looking at Fang Bing, he said firmly, I don't want to see them, and I won't look for them again in the future. It's enough for me to have you. Fang Bing nodded with a warm heart. Then let me solve this trouble for you. After a few minutes, Sky was alone. Start calling out for Gordon the Eyeless Man. Soon Gordon appeared in front of her. Do you want to come with me? Asked Gordon the Eyeless Man. Sky shook his head. Then why did you call me? In order for him to see you. An orange-yellow portal instantly appeared beside Sky. Fang Bing came out from the door. The reason is so troublesome. It didn't let Sky call Gordon the Eyeless Man directly. It is because Gordon, the Eyeless Man, can feel whether there are other people around the target when he teleports. He is wary of Fang Bing. If Fang Bing stays with Sky all the time, he won't show up. So, when Gordon the Eyeless sees the portal appear, with a bang, he teleported away, but it's too late. Because he has been seen by Fang Bing, no matter where he teleports to, a portal will appear next moment, overtaken by Fang Bing. After sending hundreds of times in a short time, Gordon the Eyeless Man was out of breath. Inhuman's ability is not like Fang Bing's teleportation spell. Not consumed. Gordon the Eyeless's teleport ability is cheap. But more times in a short period of time, it is also a burden to the body and mind. He finally stopped. Fang Bing, I know you are a magician, what exactly do you want? We have no ill intentions towards Sky, we just want to take her to meet her mother. It's been a while since Gordon, the Eyeless Man with the teleportation ability, has found Fang Bing and Sky. He had already discovered Fang Bing's unusualness through sneaky observation. So today I dared to show up when Fang Bing was not by Sky's side. I want you to take me to the afterlife to meet Jiaying. How do you know Sky's mother is Jiaying? Are you from Hydra? Gordon, the Eyeless Man, gasped and asked in shock. Fang Bing did not answer. Instead, directly issue a thunderbolt electric current with both hands. Hit towards Gordon. But before Gordon was hit, teleported away again. Fang Bing smiled slightly. No rush. Because Gordon runs no matter what. None can escape from his palm. Gordon is also smart. I have never dared to go directly to the afterlife. I was afraid that I would take this terrible man behind me to his lair. But 2 hours later, after thousands of high-intensity teleportation, he was finally drained. Tired and limp as mud, he lay down in a forest. Looking at the orange portal that appeared in front of him as always. Gordon the Eyeless was in despair. Don't know what to face next. Fang Bing stepped out from the portal. See Gordon on the ground. They gave him a series of electric shocks first. He trembled from the electricity. Only the last breath left. Take me to the afterlife. Fang Bing made this request again. What are you going to do? If you want to hurt Jiaying, then I will take you there even if I die. Gordon the Eyeless Man is Jiaying's most loyal subordinate. It's the kind of person who knows Jiaying and cannibals. A loyal dog who is still obedient. Don't worry, I'm just talking to her about Sky. Fang Bing said kindly to Gordon on the ground. But Gordon didn't believe it at all. With all his strength, he teleported away again. Fang Bing followed again, pressed by electric shock. But Gordon still didn't speak. Since you can't find an afterlife, forget it. Fang Bing lost his patience, knowing that Jiaying cannot be found through Gordon the Eyeless Man. But killing Gordon, the Eyeless Man, can be regarded as breaking Jiaying's arm. Gone is Gordon the Eyeless Man's teleportation ability. If Jiaying dares to appear in front of Sky again, then there is only one dead end, but before killing Gordon. Fang Bing also wants to use waste, stepped forward. He pinched Gordon, who was on his last breath. A lump of food was stuffed into his mouth. Clap your chin with your hand. Gudong. Gordon the Eyeless Man swallowed it involuntarily. Fang Bing found out. I am really getting more and more proficient at force feeding. Also liking it more and more. Now he can't wait for some villains to dance in front of him every day. Then he wouldn't have to look around. When you see one, pinch your mouth and feed the other. Save trouble. Soon. The system has obtained the ability list of Gordon the Eyeless Man. Gordon, quantum teleportation. He can travel through space through quantum entanglement, and every time he travels, he will be reborn. Quantum sensing. Because of the frequent quantum teleportation, he can sense whether a creature exists alone, and he can also feel the place where the power erupts. Super Melee Combat LV3, his melee combat skills are relatively high. No eyes. In order to experience quantum entanglement, he lost his eyes. Super Hearing LV2, because he was blind since childhood, his hearing is sharper than ordinary people. The ability of Gordon the Eyeless Man, except for the abilities of aliens. Others are only slightly stronger than ordinary humans. There is almost no difference, but only rely on this teleportation ability. It took Fang Bing several hours to get him. This is also the most difficult person Fang Bing has encountered so far. It was only when Fang Bing saw Gordon's teleportation ability. I don't envy him at all. Gordon the Eyeless Man's ability. Quantum entanglement teleportation. In fact, it is a very scary and very sci-fi thing. Because, quantum entanglement only teleports consciousness, not the body. Fang Bing found out after carefully reading the system's explanation. The so-called quantum entanglement teleportation ability. That's when Gordon teleports from point A to point B. At point B, first duplicate a body that is the same as point A. Then point a Gordon's memory through quantum entanglement. Teleport to the newly copied body at point B. When Gordon's aware of B's a new body, the old body that was originally at point A will be destroyed. Definitely all this is done in an instant, that is. Every time Gordon teleports, both will die once at point A. Every time Gordon takes the teleportation person, he will also die once at point A. Although there is no difference between the original version, that was teleported to point B and the original, that was eliminated at point A. Including memory, body composition, and other parts. Even Gordon himself thought it was a successful teleportation. In fact, I used the price of death to send a living self to the target point. People who were teleported by Gordon also paid the price of death as a plane ticket. They just don't know it, because what is alive is just a replica. Fang Bing felt that this was too difficult to accept. Both mentally and physically. Teleport once and change body once. That Gordon teleported thousands of times just now. Didn't he also kill himself 1,000 times? I don't know if he knows all this himself. Fang Bing looked at the eyeless man Gordon on the ground with pity. Make up your mind. Draw. Congratulations on obtaining quantum sensing. Fang Bing feels lucky recently. Already starting to think about the next time the Ancient One boss comes. Do you want to give her some delicious rewards? Quantum induction is the only ability that Fang Bing is interested in Gordon the Eyeless Man. After solving Gordon, Fang Bing turned on the quantum sensing ability. Try it out and see if it works. Sure enough, when he was thinking about Sky in his mind, just sensed that there was no one else around her. Alone. This is simply Shigong artifact, okay? If people all over the world have this ability, then there is no such thing as a small 3 and a small 4. When a man says to wash his hair by himself, a woman can sense which hair a man has washed. When a woman says she does her hair, a man can also know what facial cleanser she used to wash her face after getting her hair done. Perfect. But now for Fang Bing, the most practical aspect of this ability is another point. You can feel the location where the supernatural power explodes. Although he didn't get the matching quantum teleportation. Can't teleport like an eyeless person, and if the place where the ability erupts is a strange place. It is also impossible to feel the outbreak of the supernatural power. Immediately open the door and send it over, but as long as you know the direction. He can also drive there quickly in the Quinjet. This means that he can find other people with special abilities more conveniently. It is even possible to find the afterlife and find Jiaying through this ability. In the afterlife, there are many strange people with various abilities. Fang Bing had been pressuring Gordon before. Want Gordon to take him to the afterlife. In fact, he didn't want to rush in and kill Jiaying directly. After all, Jiaying is also Sky's real mother. And she just wants to meet Sky right now. Hasn't done anything unreasonable to Sky yet. Kill her right now. Not quite right either. Fang Bing just wants to find the afterlife. Solemnly warned Jiaying. He believed that the woman who had lived for at least hundreds of years would be very sensible when she saw him. If there are strangers who don't have long eyes, then force feed a few more. Definitely. Anyway, Gordon the eyeless man was definitely going to die. His ability is also a hidden danger for Fang Bing. Do not say ghosts. Still thinking about taking his own woman away. Fang Bing didn't have any psychological burden to kill him. After finishing Gordon. Because the location of the afterlife cannot be found. Fang Bing could only go back to Sky. Sky sees him back. No questions asked. Because she believed that Fang Bing would handle everything for her. It's just that I'm more attached to Fang Bing. When Fang Bing and Sky officially started their leisurely university campus life, something happened in the depths of the universe that will affect all mankind. Loki voluntarily let go and chose to drop Bifrost. Fall into the abyss of the universe. He is heartbroken. I thought I was going to die. Because even with his physique of an ice giant, it cannot survive in the vacuum of the universe for too long. So he closed his eyes. Let yourself wander in the depths of the boundless universe. Until he was about to die, a huge spaceship came to him. After a beam of light, he was ingested into a spaceship. Appeared in front of a purple-skinned giant, Thanos. Loki recognized the giant in front of him at a glance. Titan Destroyer. Mutants of the Eternals. The most famous executioner in the universe, even more frightening. He is also a warlord with a powerful space fleet. Since destroying his home planet Titan, thus began his bloody road to conquest. Each civilization conquered, it would kill half of the life in an entire civilization. To achieve what he called natural harmony, cosmic people called Thanos. Loki, who was still heartbroken, the moment he saw Thanos. I knew my chance had come. If you can get Thanos' support, then he will be able to prove himself to Odin. Son of Odin, Loki, god of trickery, why did you fall into the abyss of the universe? And so a conversation about conspiracy begins. Finally, Loki gets the power to do what he wants. A Sarita fleet. A scepter inlaid with Mind Gem, one of the 6 gems of the universe. He will carry these gifts from Thanos. Head to Earth again. Get the space gem for Thanos, and conquer the Earth. Fang Bing and Sky's life at Columbia University is very comfortable. Anyway, they don't expect to find a good job after college. It's just a way of experiencing life. But what surprised Fang Bing was, he also bumped into an acquaintance at Columbia University. Daredevil. Matthew Murdock. The blind vigilante skipped a grade and passed the exam ahead of schedule. Admitted directly to the Columbia Law School. Fang Bing can only sigh one thing about this. Newbie. A genius is still a genius even if he is blind. Peaceful days are always short. One night, Fang Bing and Sky are lying on the sofa at home watching TV. The Ancient One magician appeared before them again. See Ancient One. Fang Bing was no longer surprised. From the very first sentence they met, they cared about her food. Finish again? I'll make you some later. Before Ancient One could speak, Fang Bing consciously recruited the gourmet maker and started making snacks for her. Ancient One wanted to speak, but he glanced at Fang Bing's actions. Stopped again. Just wait quietly. Until Fang Bing made a lot of snacks in front of her. She just spoke. I came to you today because I have other business, but since you have the heart. Not waiting for Fang Bing to react, he waved away all the snacks. Fang Bing was very surprised. I can't think of anything else that Ancient One could do with him. Between myself and her, in addition to the relationship between the cook and the diners. Looks like there is nothing else. Could it be? Could it be that she heard her prayers before each lottery draw? Then the society is really dead. Just when Fang Bing was thinking wildly, Ancient One suddenly asked, how did you learn the Kamar Taj spell? Only then did Fang Bing know why Ancient One came to visit. He had expected this to happen today. After all, I used Ancient One's portal spell to run around the world. How could it be possible to hide from Ancient One, the Sorcerer Supreme? He had already thought about how to deal with it. It's impossible to be honest, if Ancient One knows. Eating self-made food will be drawn to copy ability. Then I guess I won't be able to be like this in the future. Waiting for Ancient One to come to ask for feeding. The world is even more troublesome, I'm afraid later. No matter how delicious your own food is, those with special abilities will also choose to hold their noses and not eat. Unless I meet everyone and pinch their mouths and stab them down. Fang Bing thinks. Probably no one likes their hard-earned ability. Was secretly copied. In my previous life, in the last world, I got an ancient book by accident and learned meditation from it. I thought about it myself when I saw you cast the portal, and I learned it. Well, that's right, that's it. Fang Bing said with a serious face. He felt masquerading as a spell genius is a very good idea. As for how to get in touch with magic, take things from your previous life and make them up casually. Even if Ancient One has time gem, it is impossible to know the authenticity. Ancient One looked calm. He nodded as if he didn't care about it. Fang Bing originally thought that this hurdle had passed. Unexpectedly, he was taken aback by Ancient One's next words. It seems that Odin didn't lie to me, you really learned the spell of Kamar Taj. Odin? Fang Bing originally thought that he was discovered by Ancient One by using magic. But did not expect, was he actually being targeted by Odin? F*K. Fang Bing felt a chill in his heart. When feeding Thor and others in New Mexico before. What worries him the most is Odin's old bastard staring at him. So be careful, he didn't dare to intervene at all. But never expected to be noticed by Odin. Fang Bing asked nervously, then what else did Odin say? Odin asked me if the kid who opened the portal 2 days ago and affected his plan was Kamar Taj's magician. The Ancient One magician glanced at him. Fang Bing is numb. The old Odin really didn't fall into any Odin sleep. Been peeping in Asgard. Why is it that the stronger the ability in this universe, the more they like to peep? I told Odin that you were my disciple. One Ancient One boss awesome. Ancient One boss is eternal god, he immediately thought of it. Now that the Ancient One boss has told Odin that he is her disciple. Doesn't that mean she wants to accept herself? It is also good to go to Kamar Taj to learn spells. You can also feed the Fae of Kamar Taj by the way. So as not to be always cut off from the source by Ancient One to feed Kamar Taj. Fang Bing immediately prepared to worship the teacher. From then on, he hugged Ancient One's long legs tightly. But before he stood up, there was a set of authentic apprentice ceremony. Ancient One smiled and glanced at him. I can't accept you as an apprentice, you are not from this world. Fang Bing was stunned. So what are you doing here today? Are you kidding me? I'm here for her. Hear the words of the Ancient One. Sitting aside, Sky was staring at the Ancient One magician. Suddenly froze, she never thought of it. Ancient One actually came for her. Want to take her in as an apprentice? Fang Bing was also confused, but he soon realized. This incident may have something to do with the meditation he taught Sky. As predicted. Ancient One quickly spoke again. I saw you in Kamar Taj with the time gem, so here I am. Sky was still confused, but Fang Bing already understood. It is as expected, he passed on the Sky meditation. Let her have magical energy. That's why Ancient One predicted that Sky would become a magician in the future. That's why I came to take her to practice in Kamar Taj. Use this to complete the prediction of time gem. I know what Sky knows. Did you see me in Kamar Taj? Fang Bing asked cheekily. Ancient One glanced at him lightly. Ignore him. Because she had already spoken to Fang Bing. He is not of this world. Time gem can't see his future. 833, so no matter where he is, I can't see him. He is in the future deduced by time gem. It doesn't exist at all. Would you like to go? Ancient One looked at Sky again and asked softly. Fang Bing also looked at Sky encouragingly. He knew that Sky had always wanted to learn magic. But he only taught her to meditate, because he doesn't have a sling ring for Sky. Didn't even teach about portals, so I think Sky will be happy to agree. But Sky shook his head. I don't want to go, I just want to stay by Fang Bing's side. Fang Bing's heart suddenly warmed up, but also worried for her. This silly girl. What a great opportunity. Embrace Ancient One's long legs, she will cover her from now on. If the earth is gone, you will be nothing. Ancient One also didn't understand Sky's decision. Obviously she saw Sky appearing in Kamar Taj in the future. Then she looked at Fang Bing. Knowing that to untie the bell, one must tie the bell. Really? Fang Bing began to persuade Sky. Are you stupid? You don't have to leave me. You can go to Kamar Taj to learn spells during the day and come back at night. It's the same as going to school. When you haven't learned the portal, I can open the portal to pick you up. Well. Then he turned his head to look at the Ancient One magician whose face was twitching. He asked shamelessly, "Really?" Ancient One magician felt a sense of embarrassment in his heart. What about Tajil's kindergarten? Also leave early and return late. Shuttle to school every day, but she has no choice now. Because she didn't tell the whole truth before. Sky is now more than just a magician to Kamar Taj. If it's just an ordinary magician, it's not worth her trip alone. The crux of the matter is, when she was using the time gem. Can't see Stephen Strange coming to Kamar Taj. She knows exactly what that means. The future she had seen in the past had changed. Stephen Strange, the surgeon. He would have broken his wrist in a car accident 6 years later. As a result, it is no longer possible to perform surgery on the operating table. In order to repair the hands, I went to Kathmandu to find the existence of magician after all the hardships. Finally successfully joined Kamar Taj, and take over the Ancient One's place. Become the next Earth Sorcerer Supreme, but in the past few days. Ancient One looks at the future tense again with the time gem. Discovery would have come to Kamar Taj's future Sorcerer Supreme 6 years later. Gone. At that time, she was in a cold sweat. Without the next Sorcerer Supreme, how can she still feign death and retire to the happy universe? When will I be able to live a retirement life that sleeps until I wake up naturally every day? So she quickly checked what was wrong. The result is in the future revealed by the time gem. Found a girl who was not supposed to be in Kamar Taj. Sky. Although the girl's future, still a little blurry. But things are already clear. The surgeon Steve is gone. But there is an extra Sky. Then this girl should be her successor in the future. Future Earth Sorcerer Supreme. So even if the snacks given by Fang Bing last time have not been finished. She also made a special trip. Just to bring back Sky. Grow into the next Sorcerer Supreme. Set yourself up for a successful retirement. And what Odin noticed about Fang Bing or something. To her, it's all trivial things. It was just schmoozing after she and Odin got down to business. Look at Fang Bing's snacks. Ancient One casually covered him. And Fang Bing learned such things as Kamar Taj. She didn't really care at all. As an outsider, Fang Bing is somewhat special, and his ability is nothing more than normal. And what he learned was not some natural disaster black magic. Nothing to worry about. Kamar Taj never restricts people's freedom. As long as you learn the teleportation spell and complete Kamar Taj's spell training on time, you can come and go freely. Actually, the magician of Kamar Taj, he is also tasked with guarding the 3 holy places of the earth. It's not as loose as Ancient One said, but now in order to deceive the future Sorcerer Supreme first. Ancient One can be considered a fight, she felt. As long as Sky is in Kamar Taj. Touched the vast sea of spells. Definitely addicted to it. Are you still afraid that she will not practice seriously? Seeing that the boss of Ancient One also personally promised. Fang Bing hurriedly continued to persuade Sky. Although I am not willing to bear this girl, but keep her by your side. I don't have much means to improve her strength. And go to Kamar Taj to practice such things. It is estimated that people in the whole universe will be envious if they know about it. If Ancient One announces that Kamar Taj is recruiting an intern magician. Fang Bing thinks that those who line up to sign up can be directly discharged from the Milky Way. For nothing else. Just because the name of Sorcerer Supreme Ancient One has already spread across the multi-universe. Finally a Sky was comforted and assured by Fang Bing. In the kind smile of Ancient One magician. Agreed to go to Kamar Taj to practice spells. As a condition. Ancient One also agreed to Sky. After she learns the portal, she is allowed to do so at any time. But Fang Bing was still not allowed to go to Kamar Taj. The reason given by Ancient One is still the same. Fang Bing is not from this world, so he cannot enter. But in fact she lied. Kamar Taj is just a separate space. Whether you can enter Kamar Taj has nothing to do with where Fang Bing comes from. Ancient One just didn't want Fang Bing to wander around Kamar Taj when he had nothing to do. Disturbing the practice of his newly recruited disciples. Talk about love every day. What kind of spells do you want to practice? Talk about the future Sorcerer Supreme. Who will protect the earth in the future? Who will take over for her to retire in the future? So she simply cast a spell on Kamar Taj. Separately prohibit Fang Bing from entering through the portal. Fortunately, Fang Bing doesn't know now, if only he knew. Definitely won't be giving Ancient One treats again. Still want a snack? Eat shit you. After everything is settled. Fang Bing cooked a sumptuous dinner for Sky at home. Send her off. The big bulb of Ancient One also stayed. Have a meal together. Take Sky away after you are ready to eat. Fang Bing didn't know why she was in such a hurry. But thinking about how dignified Sorcerer Supreme will not embarrass a little girl. There is no need to worry too much. After dinner, Fang Bing found a big sack. Start filling it with various snacks made by the gourmet maker. Until 2 sacks are loaded, they were handed over to Sky. Tell Sky a bag to eat himself. 1 bag was given to the magicians of Kamar Taj. Enrollment for the first time. Get on good terms with them. 4.4. Sky had no doubts about it. Obediently took it. Ancient One saw that Fang Bing was done messing around. Also opened the portal. Pull Sky ready to go to Kamar Taj. But just as Sky was about to step through the portal, but she suddenly broke free from Ancient One's hand. He ran back into Fang Bing's arms. Hold Fang Bing tightly. He raised his head and closed his eyes and leaned forward. Fang Bing couldn't help hugging her. Went up to welcome. For a long time reluctant to part with. Until Ancient One started coughing and coughing like the late stage of tuberculosis. Sky blushed and let go of Fang Bing. Follow Ancient One on her way to the future Sorcerer Supreme. Fang Bing stood where he was. I can still smell the fragrance left on Sky's body. Because now also know about Ancient One. There are also their own people who broke into the interior of Kamar Taj. Fang Bing didn't have any scruples either. Straight to the mind as Sky. Trying to open the portal leading to Sky with 1 hand. Sure enough, the portal couldn't be opened. Only then did he believe Ancient One's words. Sky left. He was the only one left in Nuoda's villa. But Fang Bing is also ready to continue to improve his strength. I can't live a few days. Sky can wave his hand to summon the falling Shi Tian. Hit the earth with a punch. I can't even beat her. At that time, she will have to rely on her to cover her. That's too embarrassing for a man. So Fang Bing carefully thought about how to improve his strength in the future. First of all, you must not stop meditating. Meditation can enhance the cosmic energy for him and increase the intensity of the material conversion ability. Also enhances his healing abilities, and that's it. Although Ancient One refused to accept himself as an apprentice. But wait until Sky learns the spell. It's impossible for Ancient One to stop her from teaching, right? At that time, the effect of daily meditation can be reflected. Secondly, I want to improve my strength quickly. At present, it still depends on the system to extract the ability. But for the time being, he couldn't think of anyone he could find to extract the ability. They could only attack the little animals, think for a long time. He still doesn't have a clue. Do you want to continue searching in the sea? This is also a way. The neurotoxin obtained last time is very strong. Sudden. Fang Bing patted his head, since I don't have enough knowledge reserves. Can't think of a good way. So why not seek advice from a genius with a high IQ? Think about it. He waved open the portal. Step in. Next second, he appeared in a 09 luxury villa standing on a cliff by the sea. Looking at a man and a woman on the bed, humming and ha-ha. Huh. Fang Bing knew it was the wrong time. He turned his head and got into the portal again and left. But the illegal intrusion alarm system in the villa has already sounded. Jarvis notifies Iron Man on the bed. Fang Bing just came here. Then Fang Bing, who just left for a while, the phone rang. See the incoming call name on your phone. Fang Bing didn't answer either. Opened another portal and returned to the villa just now. Sure enough, it was found that Iron Man was the only one left in the villa. Can you knock on the door next time? You scared away all the girls I just got. Seeing Fang Bing appear, Iron Man couldn't help complaining. Fang Bing apologized, but he still didn't intend to knock on the door next time. Just ready to come to him next time. First use quantum sensing to see if there is anyone around him. Come again when there is no time. This saves you from admiring Iron Man's superb athleticism. The two drank together occasionally during this time. The relationship is also relatively familiar. Iron Man walked to the bar of the villa. Poured Fang Bing a glass of wine. Poured myself a glass too. After taking a sip, he began to ask Fang Bing why he came. If you could obtain a special ability from a creature and use it for yourself, what creature would you choose to draw? Fang Bing is not inked either. Ask directly. He also didn't worry about what his questions made Iron Man think. After all, the system exists. Tell him yourself. He doesn't even believe it. Besides, Iron Man still owes him a big favor. Iron Man heard Fang Bing ask this kind of question that would only be asked by an online keyboard warrior. I couldn't help laughing out loud. But Fang Bing is really serious about asking him to answer this question. He answered without hesitation. Viruses, bacteria, fungi, plants, and animals are all organisms. What do you mean by organisms? If there are no restrictions, then I will definitely choose viruses directly, so that I can replicate, evolve, multiply cells infinitely, create organisms, and become God. Stop, stop, stop. Fang Bing quickly stopped him from talking. No matter how confident he is in his gourmet generator, I don't think this tray can produce delicacies that bacteria and fungi love to eat. But what Iron Man said just now also broadened his thinking. Plants are also living things. Does your own gourmet maker have any effect on plants? But Fang Bing couldn't think of it either. Even if you can get ability from plants. What else can I get? Photosynthesis. Just talking about animals, if you could get the ability from animals, which animal would you choose? Fang Bing continued to ask. Iron Man thought for a while. Animals include vertebrates and invertebrates. Most vertebrates are mammals, and most invertebrates are insects. If it were insects, I would definitely choose insects, and praying mantises would be good. 1. Maybe I can get a set of mantis boxing kung fu from Mantis? After Iron Man finished speaking, he was still holding his wine glass. I imitated kung fu movies and played a few tricks. Although Fang Bing thinks that what Iron Man said about getting the mantis fist from the mantis is nonsense. But he realized it. I have always ignored insects, which can be seen everywhere. And praying mantis, flea. These insects have special abilities. It's just that Fang Bing is not clear now. Food made in your own gourmet maker doesn't work against these insects. I thought about it for a while. Had a few more drinks with Iron Man. Then asked him to give himself the biodetector. Upgraded the hardware and database, allowing it to detect microscopic organisms including insects. Just open the portal and leave Iron Man's seaside villa. When he appeared again, has reached the woods in the barren hills. Fang Bing wears a biodetector on his wrist. Start looking in the woods. Soon the biodetector prompts Fang Bing. Found a colony of ants. Looking at the ant nest like a hill in front of me. Fang Bing's heart began to get excited. This must be tens of thousands of ants? If each one can provide itself with ability, wouldn't that instantly transform into Superman? After the excitement, he began to inquire what ants like to eat. Ants love plants, that's easy. Fang Bing recruits a food maker. Control with your mind. A large plate of feed was made from plants. Then start talking about the food of these ants. Sprinkle evenly in the ant nest. Not long after, the whole ant nest was like a riot. The ants rushed out. Quickly crawl towards the scattered food. They were supposed to drag the food back to the nest to eat. But the treats made with the food maker are simply irresistible. He gnawed on the spot. The system also quickly read the list of abilities of the ants. Ant, homing IV7. This ant can always find its way home by recognizing the polarized light of the sun. Ant language IV9. This ant can communicate with its kind by emitting different chemical substances. Ant power IV5. Special. This ant is very strong, and can use its special body structure and power skills to lift objects 200 times its own weight. Drag objects that exceed 800 times their body weight. Nest building LV8. This ant has proficient nest building skills, and can build an ant nest quickly and well. Open eyes blind IV3. This ant has very poor eyesight and can only see objects within 20 centimeters. When Fang Bing finished feeding, in an instant, the ability list of thousands of ants refreshed his system. Fang Bing directly extracted all abilities. In the end, the ability that almost all ants contain is obtained. These abilities are basically useless to him. The power of ants after only one integrate upgrade is not bad. Ant power LV10. Special. Fang Bing knew it when he saw ants in the name of this skill. Sure enough, there are not so many shortcuts to reach the sky in one step in the world. The power of the ant is also like the power of the elephant that he got at the beginning of the animal. A special ability belonging to a species can only be integrated up to level 10. Cannot stack continuously. 777 made himself able to kick Odin and punch Thanos after feeding a colony of ants. And because they don't have the special body structure of ants. As a result, the complete special ability of ants cannot be obtained. The strongest ants can lift up to 400 times their body weight. It can also drag objects up to 1,700 times its own body weight. But Fang Bing got the power of ants. It can only provide him with less than 1/6 of the effect. Power of ants IV10. Special. You can lift objects 60 times your own body weight, and drag objects 200 times your own weight. Fang Bing now weighs 200 caddies. 200 pounds is not because he is fat, but because of his strong physique, so the body is dense. Led to weight gain, but still very fit. After obtaining the power of ants, he gained about 6 tons of extra pushing force. 20 tons of drag force. This level of power. Roughly equivalent to a Sith goddess of war. Lift a buggy. Drive a heavy truck. If converted into divine power. Probably the level of divine power IV2. And Fang Bing now originally possesses divine power IV6. The requirements for integrate upgrade have not been met yet. The power of ants just added another power buff to his body. Fang Bing probably waited until he acquired other types of power. It will also integrate into a higher level of divine power like the original elephant power and tiger power. Anyway, all in all, the harvest this time was not bad. After all, feeding ants is a very simple matter. In addition, Fang Bing also learned ant language. When lonely and boring, you can talk to the queen ants, and we workers ants talk about 996. It is also a good ability, but next, he has other things to do. After all, there are so many other insects to experiment with one by one. After getting the full level ant power from that nest of ants, Fang Bing went to find other ants, because he thinks that ants are also divided into types. Other ants may have different abilities. The result was exactly as he expected. But it also disappointed him. Other species of ants do have other abilities. For example, some have a better sense of smell and vision. But the power of ants provided is the same, so Fang Bing can only look for other insects. Input the biological detector on the hand into the cockroach. Fang Bing continued to search in the woods, but after searching for a long time, I couldn't find where the cockroaches were. He thought he might be in the wrong place. Cockroaches should be hard to find in the wild. Just as he was about to go for a walk around the city to find some cockroaches. Suddenly the quantum induction ability on his body. I felt a burst of supernatural power. The location is far away. After Fang Bing thought for a while, the cockroach search plan was temporarily suspended. Opened the portal and returned home. Enter Quinjet. Turn on invisibility and drive towards the place where the ability erupts. 3 hours later, he came to a remote hilly area in the Middle East. Find a place to park the Quinjet, and let it turn on the invisible and hide it in place. The place where Fang Bing sensed the outbreak of the ability before is here. He began to carefully look for traces of the eruption of abilities. Or the one who caused that burst of energy, but after looking around for a long time, I couldn't find it. Until he noticed someone coming in and out under a cliff. Only then did I realize that there is a military base hidden underground here. Fang Bing quietly approached the hidden entrance under the cliff. Use super hearing to look down. Only the mechanical sound of the elevator going up and down can be heard. The underground base should also have a sound insulation layer. That's why he couldn't hear what was going on below. Who the hell is there? But Fang Bing has been determined. This is not the afterlife of Jiaying's alien base. Because Jiaying didn't have the energy to build such an underground military base. But no matter who caused the outbreak of the ability, Fang Bing was ready to go down and take a look. He needs to improve his strength. The fastest way to improve your strength is to find those with special abilities. Get back on the plane. Put on a night suit. Open the portal directly with one hand, after stepping in. The next moment appeared in the elevator in the base. He can only open the portal as far as super hearing can reach. There is a sound insulation layer below and you can't hear it. So it is also a shortcut to transfer directly to the elevator. But there is someone else in the elevator at the moment. 2 armed guards. See Fang Bing coming out of the portal. The shot was fired without hesitation. Large caliber automatic rifle. Chug chug. But only a few holes were broken in the Fang Bing night suit. Thorn. 2 electric current flashed. 2 guards were directly knocked down. Fang Bing didn't kill them, because he still doesn't know who owns this base. In case it's Shield's, could it be that the flood rushed into the Dragon King Temple? You must know that Shield also has hundreds of secret military bases around the world. With the sound of gunfire in the elevator, I remembered. The entire military base began to sound urgent alarms. Before Fang Bing came out of the elevator, the gate of the outer base exit landed. The military base is under lockdown. A team of guards also received the order. Assemble with guns. Rush to the elevator exit. Soon Fang Bing took the elevator to the inside of the military base. It may have passed the sound insulation layer. Before getting out of the elevator, he felt that he could already hear the movement outside. Listen to Hydra hail. Then Fang Bing finally knew where he came from. A secret Hydra military base. He suddenly lost his mental burden. Hydra. Shoot 100 with your eyes closed. None of them were innocent. Definitely, he also probably knew who the person who released the power burst before was. The elevator doors opened. Fang Bing faced the hail of bullets. There are even shock bombs and howitzers coming out of the elevator. All the way sparks with lightning. All the Hydra soldiers fell to the ground. Fang Bing walked towards the target location that he had heard. But the base command room quickly discovered his purpose. Controlling the steel gate in front of him fell down. Fang Bing does not want to reveal his identity in front of Hydra yet. Because Hydra is too much trouble, the two guards in the elevator just now already dealt with after he found out that this is the base of Hydra. So as long as now he doesn't use portals and material transformations, the people of Hydra should not be able to discover his true identity. The reason for saying this, because Fang Bing felt that Hydra was lurking inside S.H.I.E.L.D. You should have known that one would open the portal. The magician who turns Quinjet into a rose as himself. Since you are not going to use the portal and material conversion, then Fang Bing can only try his fist or the steel gate in front of him, which is harder. Boom. 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 Alloy cast full half-meter thick gate began shapeshifting. One by one, fist marks were dented on the door. A group of Hydra soldiers holding guns behind the door trembled in fright. They couldn't help being suspicious if they didn't know the truth. Is there a scary monster on the other side of the door? After 3 punches, the entire gate weighing several tons was blown away. Knocked away the Hydra soldiers behind the door. They were smashed before they had time to react. Fang Bing ignored them. Keep walking towards your goal. Punching and kicking all the way. The gun was unharmed. No one can stop him in the slightest. Fang Bing dares to be so arrogant now because the aliens in New York have not yet invaded. Hydra and other Earth forces have not yet obtained the technological energy weapons of aliens. That's why it was very difficult to break his defense. It's like it's hard for them to move hatred now. But if after the New York War, Fang Bing didn't dare to be so tough. The power of alien energy weapons, it can be many times stronger than the kinetic energy weapons on the Earth today. What's more, there are some fancy technology props. Annihilation bombs or something. Hydra's top managers in military bases, coming soon from Fang Bing's route, discovered his true intentions. Quickly, transfer the experimental target. It must not be taken away by intruders. But it's too late. Before the newly dispatched Hydra soldiers moved away from the experimental target, Fang Bing has already broken the gate violently all the way. Arrived at the target location. Get rid of the soldiers who came. Fang Bing pulled open the laboratory cell. Who are you? Are you here to save us? In the cell, a beautiful girl of 16 or 17 was staying next to a comatose silver-haired boy. He stared at Fang Bing and asked expectantly. Fang Bing nodded. Backquote, that's right, Wanda, I'm here to save you. When Fang Bing entered the inside of the base before, he has already listened to the conversation of Hydra in the base. I found out who I was looking for, not alone, but two. Scarlet Witch Wanda, with her twin brother, Quicksilver Pietro. But Fang Bing didn't understand a little bit. Because he seems to remember. Originally, Scarlet Witch and Quicksilver were set after the alien war in New York. Hydra gets the scepter with the mind gem inlaid in Loki's hand. It was only through mind gem that their ability was induced. Why do their abilities explode now? Why Quicksilver Pietro is in a coma? But he has no time to figure out these questions now. The first thing to do now is to get the two out of Hydra's base. Fang Bing smashed the camera in the cell. Opened the portal directly in the cell. Take Wanda. He picked up the unconscious Quicksilver and walked in. The other side of the portal opened inside the Quinjet fighter. After, Fang Bing took the two of them back to the villa on a stealth Quinjet fighter jet. Returned to the villa a few hours later. Quicksilver Pietro was still awake. Fang Bing began to ask Wanda about the situation. After some inquiry, only then did he figure out what was going on. Original. The Wanda siblings live in Sokovia, Eastern Europe. There are families and parents. Then when Wanda was little, war broke out in Sokovia. Destroyed their home. Made them orphans. Since then, the siblings have been wandering in Sokovia. Lived a life of homelessness. Until a few days ago they were targeted by Hydra agent. Was captured from Sokovia to this military base. Conduct supernatural experiments. Trying to activate the powers in the Wanda siblings. But the experiment was not entirely successful. Because Wanda is completely unresponsive, but her younger brother Pietro accidentally activated the ability. Due to excessive speed, I can't control it at all. He hit his head against the wall and passed out. Only then did Fang Bing know. It turns out that the supernatural power that I sensed by myself exploded. It was Pietro's ability awakening that broke out. And why does Quicksilver Pietro explode now? Fang Bing guessed. Probably because he was originally a mutant nagging. That's why you don't need mind gem to get powers. And his sister Wanda's ability, it is origin magic power. It's not something that can be explained by supernatural powers. So only after getting the Loki scepter by Hydra. The origin magic power energy in the body was successfully induced by infinite gems. The villa Fang Bing bought before was very large. Otherwise, it would be impossible for Quinjet to stop on the roof. Up and down 2 floors. Fang Bing and Sky lived on the first floor before. There are many empty rooms on the second floor. Wanda and Quicksilver were placed upstairs by him. As for why the two were rescued from Hydra, also brought it back. The main purpose is definitely to facilitate the feeding of them. Scarlet Witch's origin magic power, practicing to the depth, can be compared with Chin Gray's Phoenix Force. Has the power to destroy the universe. Quicksilver's ultimate speed. Even Fang Bing didn't know how fast he could run. Naturally, Fang Bing couldn't let go of the opportunity to acquire these two abilities. Definitely secondary reasons. It was Fang Bing who also had some sympathy for what happened to the twin siblings. Although he doesn't consider himself a good person. Sometimes I often kill some things that don't have long eyes. But in his previous life, after all, he was a 3-good student who had received 9 years of compulsory education. He still has the morals that ordinary people should have. Currently Quicksilver is still unconscious. Fang Bing's first task is naturally to wake him up first. Go upstairs. Wanda is still watching over her younger brother's bedside, waiting for him to wake up. See Fang Bing coming in. Stand up quickly. Thank you Fang Bing, seriously. Thank you so much. If you hadn't saved us, I don't know what terrible things would have happened in that place. After Wanda finished speaking, she remembered that she still didn't know the name of her benefactor. And there are still a lot of questions in my mind. Couldn't help but ask again. Who are you? Where are we now? And 790, do you know who is arresting us? Will they come to us again? Fang Bing looked at her disturbed look. I knew she hadn't come out of the panic yet. Definitely. He also understands. After all, Wanda in front of him looks about the same age as Sky. Originally, the family was destroyed. Now he and his younger brother are captured by Hydra and imprisoned in the underground base for experiments. It is impossible for anyone to forget this kind of thing easily. It's normal to have shadows in your heart. So Fang Bing chatted with her patiently. My name is Fang Bing, you are currently in my house, and the person who is arresting you is an evil organization called Hydra. Fang Bing simply answered Wanda's question. Also told her it was safe now. She looked at her unconscious brother lying on the bed. How is your brother? Do you need me to treat him? You're still a doctor. Wanda was worrying about why her brother was still awake. Hearing Fang Bing's words, he nodded like a chicken pecking rice. Fang Bing stepped forward, reached out and applied healing energy to the wound on Pietro's head. Because Pietro is still in a coma, there was no special reaction this time. Soon, healing energy healed his wounds. Pietro slowly awoke from his coma. What is this place? When Pietro woke up, he saw Fang Bing and Wanda next to the bed. Asked with a look of vigilance, Wanda quickly explained to him that Fang Bing rescued them. Pietro breathed a sigh of relief. What happened at the underground base before frightened him. Know that you have come to New York, finally out of that chaotic place of Sokovia, and escaped from the evil organizations that experimented on them. I really felt as if I had suddenly arrived at heaven from hell. 2 days later, the Wanda siblings have already recovered from their stress. Adapted to the new environment. Fang Bing is not in a hurry to feed them food from the gourmet maker. Because Wanda doesn't have the awakening origin magic power at all. Drawing now is purely a waste of the chance to get 100% ability for the first time. Fang Bing remembers, under normal conditions, Loki will come to Earth 2 years later with the Kirita army. Definitely still carry the scepter inlaid with the mind gem. So if you want to get origin magic power, then you need to get Loki's scepter. Used to help Wanda awakening ability. Only after that can I extract the ability from her. And Wanda's younger brother, Quicksilver Pietro. Although now it's like awakening the super speed AA ability. But he has not mastered it at all. Hit the wall once you use it. And it's not particularly fast. Fang Bing felt that now was not the time to extract his ability. Because now even if he has drawn his speed-related ability, I am afraid it is also the lowest level. Once you get it, you have to practice slowly and improve slowly. Fang Bing is a lying flat youth. Definitely chose to let Quicksilver practice on his own first. Wait for him to practice his ability. Practice until at least you can't hit the wall. The ones that are directly extracted and copied are of the same level as him. What is it called? This is DD super ability boosting. So for later, Fang Bing approached Iron Man to help the two get legal status. As for why not find S.H.I.E.L.D., not looking for the bald chief? Because Hydra is tracking down the whereabouts of the Wanda siblings. Infiltrated S.H.I.E.L.D. a long time ago, after World War II. S.H.I.E.L.D. apparently perished Hydra. Then for the rapid development of science and technology. Don't waste those Hydra scientists, and so began the Paperclip project. The so-called Paperclip scheme. It is to recruit Hydra scientists who do not have too many blood donations on their hands to work in S.H.I.E.L.D. This plan was definitely meant to be good, because those who implemented this plan thought that HYDRA's armed forces were all destroyed. These scientists are also only available to S.H.I.E.L.D. It is impossible to find any waves, but then it developed over time. These Hydra scientists headed by Dr. Zola gradually take root and sprout inside S.H.I.E.L.D. Gradually corroding every corner of S.H.I.E.L.D. Since then, Hydra reborn from within S.H.I.E.L.D. when Fang Bing asked Iron Man to solve the identity problem of the two people. Although Iron Man was a little surprised, but he didn't ask anything and asked his subordinates to do it on his behalf. This kind of thing is for the huge Stark Industries group. It's hardly worth mentioning. That's it. Wanda and her younger brother Pietro stayed at Fang Bing's house. Both of them are old enough to graduate from high school. But it was considered a good life for the Sokovia vagabonds to have enough to eat before. Going to school is even more out of reach, but when Fang Bing offered to let them go to school again, Wanda didn't want to go at all. Pietro, on the other hand, was the opposite of his sister. I am yearning for the long-lost school life. So Fang Bing arranged for Pietro to enter Midtown High School. That is the high school that Fang Bing, Sky, and Daredevil all attended before. And Wanda stayed at home, watching TV, eating snacks and playing games every day. Become the ultimate otaku. Lived out what Fang Bing most yearned for in his previous life. If it weren't for Fang Bing, there would be as much money as there is dirt on Earth. Otherwise, she should go out to work to earn money and pay the rent. A few more days passed. Night. When Pietro came home from school, Fang Bing felt that it was time to discuss with Pietro about training his abilities. He dragged Pietro to sit on the couch with Wanda. Pietro, do you still remember the super ability you got when you were in the underground base? Hearing Fang Bing mention that terrible underground base again, he couldn't help but think of the days when he was imprisoned. There was a look of fear on his face. You mean the super ability that caused me to crash into the wall and pass out? You call that super ability? It's a nightmare, okay? Pietro said with an ugly face, disdain for the argument of force. He even thought that it was because of his strange ability that he and Wanda were kidnapped. So after being rescued these days, never tried that ability again. Not to mention exercising. This is why Fang Bing wanted to have a serious talk with Pietro. As a power leveling, you are still lazy. How can Pietro be lazy if he is lazy? Fang Bing did not rush to explain to him. Instead, he took out his mobile phone in front of Pietro. Extend your finger to release the electric current. Zilla. Start charging your phone. How did you do it? Seeing this scene, Pietro almost jumped 3 feet high and asked excitedly. He didn't see Fang Bing open the portal to rescue him back then. And Wanda, because she doesn't want to recall the days in the Hydra underground base, didn't tell him what happened at the time, so he sees Fang Bing now. It's so amazing to be able to issue a thunderbolt like electric current with your hands. You can understand this as my super ability, and you also have this magical super ability, but you need to practice constantly to become stronger. Fang Bing has been persuasive about power leveling. Pietro was skeptical. Your super ability is very powerful. If you can master it proficiently, you can easily deal with those people in Hydra and protect your sister. Pietro's heart immediately warmed up when he heard this. Been through so much. What is he expecting? It is to protect the safety of Sister Wanda. Let them live a stable life from now on. Now I know that I have the ability to protect my sister. Has the ability to resist bad guys, as a high school teenager. He was moved. So what should I do? How to exercise? The young Pietro was so easily persuaded. Fang Bing smiled inexplicably. Don't worry, I have already tailored a training plan for you. What? The training plan you're talking about is running every day? Pietro asked with a question mark on his face. That's right, your ability is to run fast, so you need to practice running first. You can run at normal speed no problem, and you can turn on super speed AA to avoid falling. Fang Bing said seriously. This training plan was actually made up by him. Ghosts don't know if it works or not, but there was no other way for him now anyway. Let Pietro try to run 10 kilometers every night. Even if it doesn't work. Running more can also exercise your body, which is good for your health. Nothing wrong. Plan to pass. Want to protect your sister? Want to have a powerful super ability? Run, boy. Inspired by Fang Bing's cry, Encouraged by Pietro, Whoosh ran out of the villa. He started his super ability leveling career around the block circle after circle. Why do I always feel that you are teasing him? Wanda poked her head out of the door to look at her younger brother who had already run away. He turned to Fang Bing with some doubts and asked. Before Fang Bing could speak, she continued talking to herself. But it's always good to run a lot. Do I have super ability too? Can you make a training plan for me too? Fang Bing looked at Wanda. It feels like she really deserves to be the Scarlet Witch of the future. Those who can control the origin magic power really can't lower their IQ. The real situation can be seen at a glance. You also have a special ability in your body, and it is stronger than your younger brother, but it cannot be activated until the time comes. Since Wanda asked, Fang Bing also felt that there was nothing to hide. Just tell her directly. Did you save us because of our super abilities? Wanda finally asked the question she had been hiding in her heart for days. That's why Fang Bing saved them. And why would they take them in? The man who saved them. Is it the same idea as the person who experimented with them before? Pietro can be heartless as a younger brother. But Wanda as the older sister. He wandered in Sokovia with his younger brother for several years. If it's just a silly white sweet. I don't know which stinky ditch I died with my brother for a long time. Ever since Wanda came to Fang Bing's house. Been watching him for several days. Until I feel that I have a little understanding of Fang Bing. It took me the courage to ask this question. Yes. What Fang Bing said made Wanda feel cold, but then. Fang Bing looked into Wanda's eyes. Seriously continued. Although I found you and saved you because of your super ability, I will not hurt you. On the contrary, I will help you obtain a calendar emperor strong enough to protect yourself. Do you believe me? Wanda nodded. She believed it. She was just having doubts in her heart. If you don't believe Fang Bing. He didn't even dare to ask him this question. Instead, he secretly left with his younger brother. Kamar Taj. In another space independent of the earth. After Sky followed Ancient One to this ancient magician's hometown. He was directly taken into the quiet room by Ancient One. Use the soul astral rule. Take her on a quick tour of the multi-universe. Experience the exciting scenery of the multi-universe. Be aware of threats from the multi-universe and beyond. This is also the time when each Sorcerer Supreme trains a successor. First things first. The travel of the multi-universe is fleeting. But time has passed in the blink of an eye. Sky woke up under the guidance of Ancient One. See? These are the threats you will face in the future. Ancient One smiled and looked at Sky, who was sitting cross-legged, and said. When Sorcerer Supreme is passed on, why should the successor see this? It is to make the successor have a sense of crisis and responsibility, and then practice spells well. Now Ancient One let Sky finish watching. I think she should be able to practice hard. Well, I see clearly. Sky replied with a serious face. Ancient One nodded. Prepare to start arranging full training tasks for her. Train her to a level where she can take over as soon as possible. Then when will you teach me the portal? You promised to let me go back when I learned the portal. Although Sky felt that what Ancient One showed her was exciting and dangerous. But Ancient One didn't tell her that she was going to succeed Sorcerer Supreme. She felt that since Kamar Taj had so many powerful magicians, there's no need for her to worry. Even if the sky is falling, Ancient One will hold it up. What she is most concerned about now is to learn the portal as soon as possible. In this way, you can go back to be with Fang Bing anytime. Hearing Sky's determined question, Ancient One rolled his eyes inwardly angrily. Is that guy so magical? To go back to see him? You don't even care about the destruction of the universe? Ancient One is nothing short of Sorcerer Supreme. In a blink of an eye, he came up with a brilliant countermeasure. She coughed. Seriously said, the portal is an advanced spell that involves space and time. You need to learn all the basic spells before you can practice it. How did Sky know that the portal is Kamar Taj's most basic spell? All it takes is a sling ring to learn quickly. She heard the words of the Ancient One. It also seems to make sense. I was taken aback for a moment. Then it was arranged by Ancient One. Lived in an independent dormitory next to the Ancient One quiet room. In order to keep Sky out of Kamar Taj's other magicians. Learn the truth about portal spells. The Ancient One also prevented other magicians from coming to Sky's side. Only librarians are assigned. That chubby king magician. On weekdays, Fang Bing Sky borrows spellbooks. Definitely. A tome of spells about portals. Has been hidden. The reason is that Sky repair is not enough and cannot be borrowed. Under Ancient One Magician's serial show operation, Sky finally practiced the basic spells with peace of mind. Until a few days after practicing, she is eating a snack. She remembered what Fang Bing told her before leaving. He took out a bag of spicy strips from the sack under the bed in the dormitory and walked into the library. Wong. This is a local product I brought from home, do you want to eat it? Sky handed the spicy strips with the words Weilong printed on the package to Lao Wong. Old Wong was originally reading the spell classics carefully. Hear Sky's words. I turned my head and looked. Good guy, it's really Tien Teba. Your hometown still belongs to Honan? He happily took the spicy strips, skillfully tear open the packaging bag. He ate with enjoyment. In a minute, Lao Wong fiddled with the empty plastic bag in his hand with a strange expression. Sky. Where did you buy your spicy strips? Why doesn't it taste the same as what I eat in my hometown? Congratulations on obtaining Magic Space V3. Fang Bing, who was meditating, was suddenly awakened by the mechanical sound of the system. At first, when he heard the system beep, I thought it was the fat cat raised by little Peter who gave him the ability again. But after seeing the obtained ability name, he immediately realized that he had guessed wrong. The next thought that followed was to kiss Sky hard. My baby Sky is the best. Fang Bing couldn't help boasting. Sky has been going to Kamar Taj for some days. But the system has never reminded me to obtain the ability list. He even thought about whether Sky's snacks were also snatched away by that old boucher who loves to eat alone in Ancient One. Fang Bing first looked at the spell that he had just obtained. Spell Space V3. You can use magic energy to open up a different space that belongs to you alone. Storage ring. This was the first thing Fang Bing thought of. And it's a portable storage space that doesn't need a ring. He couldn't help but want to try it right away. The system extraction is copied to this spell. The principles of magic and the use of spells related to the magic space were all instilled in his mind. He began to create his own different space according to the law. Strips of magician energy threads are intertwined between the fingers of both hands. Judgment will be completed soon. The development of the different space is completed. Fang Bing sensed it. There are about 50 cubic file size. You only need to silently recite the law to store and store items. You can deposit and withdraw out of thin air anytime, anywhere. Fang Bing immediately thought of many usages. With this different space, he doesn't have to make food on the spot every time he needs to be fed. It can be made in advance and stored in a different space. When needed, take it out anytime, and although time is still passing in the different space, but in a vacuum, can greatly extend the shelf life of food. Definitely. A portable storage space can do so much more than that. Fang Bing felt like he had it. No matter what you do, it is much more convenient. If only bigger. Would be nice to be able to put the Quinjet fighter in there myself. After testing the effect of the different space, Fang Bing even started to think about it. Do you want to find Iron Man and ask for a copy of Great Ivan's manufacturing technology? Do your own research and understand. Then you can use the material conversion, hand rub Big Ivan. Put it into a different space after rubbing it. When you encounter a strong enemy, you can't beat it. You can take one out from your crotch at any time to bluff people. Thinking about that picture makes me happy. Fang Bing finished extracting ability. Looked at the record again. Only then did I realize that Sky had found Pharaoh Magician to feed him. I took a rough look at Pharaoh's ability list. Much shorter than Ancient One's, but still has many powerful abilities. Pharaoh is the Kamar Taj librarian after all. He can almost read and study Kamar Taj's magic tome. Now Fang Bing only wants Sky to give some strength. Feed Lao Wong more times, or give more snacks to other mages. After meditation is interrupted, Fang Bing didn't bother to continue. He remembered the half-missed cockroaches he found last time. Simply decided not to sleep tonight. Go catch cockroaches in the city. Look at this creature that lives in a squalid environment. What abilities can you bring to yourself? Think about it. Fang Bing puts on a biodetector. Opened the portal with one hand. Appeared directly in the dirtiest, messiest and worst area in New York. Hell's Kitchen. After Fang Bing walked out of the portal. I have come to a deserted alley. The next second just walked out. The biodetectors started buzzing. It really is Hell's Kitchen. Cockroaches are everywhere. Fang Bing followed the guidance of the biological 457 detector. Came to a trash can. He pinched his nose and lifted the lid. With his level 3 supervision, I saw dozens of cockroaches in the bucket at a glance. Fang Bing knows what cockroaches eat without even thinking about it. Call out the gourmet builder. It is like a pile of cakes. The raw material is cockroach food made of starch and sugar. After quickly throwing it into the trash can, he put the lid on it. Then wait for the roaches to finish eating. Really. After half a minute, a series of mechanical beeps came from the system. Tip: Fang Bing has extracted the ability list of these dozens of cockroaches. Cockroach, asexual reproduction. Even if it never meets a male cockroach in its life, it can miraculously allow itself to successfully conceive and give birth to a bunch of female cockroaches, offspring and grandchildren. Insect control. Special. It has the super ability to cultivate the virus Trichomonas on the body, and infect anyone who wants to kill it with his own hands. Extreme resistance IV6. It can survive for 2 months without eating or drinking, and can survive for 8 days without a head. Its antibacterial and antivirus abilities are extremely strong, and it can even resist nuclear radiation. Fear of light LV7. It is extremely afraid of light, and lives in damp and dark forever. Wings gliding LV1. It can use wings to glide flight for a short distance. After extracting the abilities of dozens of cockroaches at a time, Fang Bing quickly and directly disabled other abilities except extreme resistance. Because he senses those other abilities of cockroaches. Anything but weird is disgusting. Dozens of cockroaches also contributed 4 LV6 extreme resistances to Fang Bing. After integrate upgrade, Fang Bing obtained extreme resistance IV8. But he didn't stop, because disgusting creatures like cockroaches are everywhere in Hell's Kitchen. It is not difficult at all to fill up extreme resistance LV10. Then Fang Bing started his journey of rummaging through trash cans. It took him half an hour, after turning over 8 trash cans. Finally got together the extreme resistance IV6 needed for the upgrade. Integrate upgrade got it. Extreme resistance LV10. You can survive in various extreme environments, whether it is extreme cold or vacuum. You have a very strong ability to survive. Nuclear radiation and ionizing radiation are useless to you. Get Fang Bing of this ability. It feels like nothing else. What starvation? Hot and cold vacuum. It just further enhanced the resistance of his originally super physique. Originally, he had quite strong resistance to these environments. Now it's just icing on the cake. What's more, he also has a gourmet generator that can make food out of thin air anytime, anywhere. Even less likely to starve. The only thing that interests him very much is nuclear radiation and ionizing radiation resistance. With this ability, just right to use with the spell space he just acquired. Encountered a strong enemy. Big Ivan was pulled out from his crotch. No longer have to worry about nuclear radiation will hurt yourself. Now Fang Bing is really planning to find Iron Man to learn the manufacturing technology of Great Ivan. After finishing extracting the cockroach ability, Fang Bing didn't plan to go back yet. Now that I have come to Hell's Kitchen. He just remembered that there was one more thing to do. In a bedroom on the top floor of a mansion in Hell's Kitchen. Suddenly an orange portal appeared. Fang Bing stepped out of it. Then, Wilson Faith, who was asleep on the bed, suddenly woke up. He raised his hand and reached for the pistol under the pillow. Ready to shoot. But when he saw the orange portal beside the bed, immediately threw the gun to the floor, expressed no hostility. May I ask what orders you have for this coming? Wilson Sky asked respectfully with his head bowed. It has been more than 2 months since he surrendered to this indestructible magician. These 2 months, he has not received any instructions about the magician. I didn't ask him for a penny to do something. Wilson even thought that the magician would never appear again. Until tonight, he just saw the mysterious magician again. Although if there is a way to get rid of this person who gave him shame, he will definitely chop it into meat paste and feed it to the dogs. But now he can't find a way. On the surface, he didn't dare to neglect at all. Because the terrifying strength of the magician back then is still firmly imprinted in his mind. Bring me a map. Wilson heard the order. He hurried to the desk and took out a map of New York City. Fang Bing took the map. After looking at it, point to an area with your finger, circled. I need you to buy this place and transfer it to my name, and remove all the residents on it. Placement fees are not capped until they are definitely positive. Fang Bing pulled down his mask. He revealed his true face to Wilson Faith. He is now completely not afraid that the other party will know his identity. This is the confidence brought to him by his own strength. Wilson Faith suddenly saw Fang Bing's true face. Only then did he discover the magician he had been surrendering to. It's so young. A trace of unwillingness flashed through my heart. But he didn't dare to show the slightest bit on his face. Dear Master, your plan requires a lot of money, and my funds are not enough to complete this matter perfectly. Wilson Faith said in fear, he's telling the truth. Although he is the underground emperor of New York, the gangster boss. But demolish the whole area. Not only will it cost hundreds of millions of dollars to buy the land. It is also necessary to pay a huge amount of compensation and resettlement money for each family in the apartment building in this area. This is beyond the scope of his ability, unless Fang Bing allows him to use force to coerce those residents. Otherwise, with his liquidity, can't get this done. Fang Bing smiled. He knew Wilson Faith wasn't lying. Because if you don't come to the door yourself, the hand will also find Wilson to cooperate in the future. Make him do the same. Wilson Faith at that time was also due to insufficient funds. Only then did they threaten those residents to move out forcibly. Daredevil is attracted to intervene. In the end, Luke Cage, Iron Fist, Jessica Jones and Daredevil were stopped by the Defenders Alliance. Fall short. You don't have to worry about money at all, I can solve it for you now. Fang Bing finished speaking lightly. He directly pressed his hand on Wilson Faith's bed. In an instant, that luxurious queen bed turned into solid gold. Including the original bedding and pillows above. All turned into pure gold. Even if Wilson is a mafia boss who came out of a mountain of corpses in a sea of AA blood. At this moment, he was also stunned. He hurriedly stepped forward to touch the golden bed. Tried to weigh the weight with both hands again. To be sure, the big bed where I fell asleep a few minutes ago. It really turned into a bed of pure gold. How many tons is this gold bed? This young magician in front of him can turn stones into gold? This made Wilson Faith couldn't help being suspicious. Is the magician in front of him really as young as he appears? Fang Bing didn't care about Wilson Faith's little tricks. Instead, he continued to take 2 steps forward. Turn the dining table, bar counter, sofa, and wardrobe in the luxury villa into gold. Only then did he turn around. He asked lightly, is it enough? Wilson Faith looked at his villa which had become resplendent in a short period of time. Some were speechless. Can only nod with 5.4. Do this well, and I can give you eternal life. Fang Bing dropped a sentence. Leave behind the distraught Wilson Faith. Opened the portal and left. Eternal life? Wisona unknown currency Faith thinks of Fang Bing's youthful face. My heart suddenly became hot. Fang Bing did not deceive Wilson Faith. If he does it for himself, give him eternal life. It's just a casual thing. Because everything Fang Bing is doing now is cutting off beards. Who of Interceptors? He circled it on a map of New York. The area in Hell's Kitchen. There is a whole set of old skeletons buried in the ground. And longevity. It's a train. Its bones can be made into keel medicine through simple preparation. Dragon Bone's secret medicine can bring people back from the dead. As long as there is no ashes and annihilation. Or subject to loss. Important parts of the body. Dragon Bone's secret medicine can revive the dead indefinitely. Thereby realizing another kind of immortality. The 5 leaders of the hand were relying on this method. It has been alive from thousands of years ago to the present. Although Fang Bing doesn't need the Dragon Bone's secret medicine to prolong his life. His Asgard royal body has already lived a very long life. But what Fang Bing valued was the role of the Dragon Bone's secret medicine in resurrecting the dead. This magical thing. Easy to get if given the chance. How could he possibly stay with the hand? As for why he came to Wilson Faith to do this. The reason is, the Sholo keel is actually very large. The ground supporting the entire Hell's Kitchen. The key is, there is still a seal where the Sholo keel is located. That was the seal of the previous generation of Kunlun Iron Fist. Sealed entrance. Just at Fang Bing let Wilson Faith G. The underground area of AA the purchased area. So Fang Bing needs to control the entrance area first. Make this your own private domain. Then find a way to slowly lift the seal on the entrance. But now this matter cannot be rushed. We can only wait for Wilson Faith to finish his work first. The next day, Fang Bing went to Little Peter's place. Had dinner with Aunt May and Little Peter. Little Peter is 10 years old. Fang Bing is not sure now. Wait a few more years. Will he still be bitten by that mutated spider? Will it still be Spiderman, because the development of things for him recently is farther and farther from what he remembered. Not to mention saving Scarlet Witch and Quicksilver himself. Things are out of order, and it gets more and more chaotic as it goes on. If Little Peter is really just an ordinary person in the future. 09 Fang Bing is no surprise either. Where's Sister Sky? Why didn't you come with you? Little Peter asked Fang Bing with his head tilted. Sky has been away for a few days. Fang Bing hasn't told them yet. Mainly because I don't know what to say. Sky went to college in other places, and he won't be back until some time. Can't tell the truth. Fang Bing could only make up a reason now. But Aunt May obviously didn't believe it. Did you two break up, or did you fight? Aunt May asked gossipingly. Fang Bing didn't know what to say. Fortunately, he didn't let Aunt May know. There is still a pair of siblings living in my own villa. Otherwise, she might come up with something in her head. Boom. Fang Bing watching TV with Aunt May's Little Peter. I heard it outside my villa a few hundred meters away. There was a knock on the door. Fang Bing's expression froze. Just an excuse that there is something urgent. Say hello to Aunt May, little Peter. Walk towards home. There was only one man who came, but wearing a black suit. Be graceful. And now only Wanda is at home in the villa. Quicksilver Pietro went out for a run, but Wanda didn't answer the door. Because she didn't know the person outside. Who are you looking for? Fang Bing came to the door of the villa and asked the man in the suit. Baron Strucker sends you his regards. The man in the suit replied respectfully. Hearing the name, Fang Bing knew that Hydra was looking for him. Because Baron Strucker is one of the leaders of Hydra. Also kidnapped Wanda and Pietro, imprisoned them in an underground military base for experiments. Finally get the Loki scepter from S.H.I.E.L.D., the person who activated the special ability of two people. What can I do for you? Fang Bing asked flatly. Baron Strucker thinks that you accidentally took away two things that belonged to him, and would like you to return them to him, for which he is willing to meet any conditions you may ask. The man in the suit sent by Hydra said sincerely. He showed no arrogance at all. On the contrary, he has always been humble. What if I say no? Fang Bing listened to his words. Just no two things he said. Refers to Wanda and Pietro. Baron Strucker says, if you won't accept the condition, they're giving it to you, and Hydra wants your friendship. After talking about the black suit, he bowed again. Turned around and left. Fang Bing didn't keep him. Because people are so polite to come to the door. Didn't do anything bad. How embarrassing to kill it directly. It's just that Fang Bing is a little confused. I don't understand why Hydra came to this one. Hydra can find out about himself. It can be found out that he took Wanda and Pietro away. This is not unusual, because S.H.I.E.L.D. is full of Hydra spies. It was not difficult for Hydra to get his true identity from S.H.I.E.L.D. At that time, I took Wanda and Pietro directly. Disappeared from the underground base without a trace. Hydra, as long as it is not stupid, it doesn't take long to guess that I made it myself. Fang Bing never thought that he could completely hide it from them. Just thinking about Hydra if he dares to mess with himself. Just go and teach them a profound lesson. What about Baron Strucker and Alexander Pierce? These Hydra tops, it's not hard for him to find. Never bothered to tell Nick Fury. Just because this kind of thing speaks out. It's not doing you any good either. It is more beneficial for Fang Bing to keep S.H.I.E.L.D. in its current state. Although Hydra is very polite, Fang Bing also raised his vigilance. I know even more how difficult this organization in the dark is. The kind of idiot who can only rely on force. Good solution for Fang Bing, and this hidden in the dark. Power like a poisonous snake, is the most powerful. If one head is cut off, another will grow back. After the man in the suit left the Fang Bing villa, I rushed directly to HYDRA's Agent Academy. Von Baron Strucker is here waiting for his report. He said no, decisively. The man in the suit said to Baron Strucker, who was holding a wineglass. The Baron nodded. Secretly watching his every move, but without my order, no one is allowed to offend him. Baron Strucker didn't have a hard time making this decision. Since the day S.H.I.E.L.D. discovered the identity of Fang Bing's magician, Hydra also created a top-secret file for him alone. Kill the Iron Overlord. Kill the Whip. Defeat Black Widow and Captain America team up to turn a Quinjet into a picker. Banish the Hulk and trap the Abomination. The most important thing is that he also released his Abomination to destroy a military base. All this makes Hydra feel. This magician named Fang Bing. Although powerful to terrible, but not a Captain America-style righteous hero. But a potential possible ally. Especially when Fang Bing snatched the two siblings from the underground military base. After Hydra found out the identity of the intruder. Originally thought he would tell S.H.I.E.L.D. Information that Hydra still exists. But Fang Bing serves as a foreign aid for Nick Fury Avengers. Not telling S.H.I.E.L.D. at all, and Hydra also found. Fang Bing also bypassed S.H.I.E.L.D. when solving the identity issue of the two siblings. Find someone from Stark Industries to solve it. This can't help but make the top management of Hydra feel. Fang Bing is actually not of one mind with S.H.I.E.L.D. Is a great value. A strong man worth wooing. That's why I asked someone to come and test me. And after Bing refused, I did a favor directly. No more asking for Wanda siblings. Another reason for this decision also lies in Hydra does not know the true value of the Wanda siblings. There are many people with abnormal abilities in the world. Hydra has also caught many experiments. Give up this pair of siblings. And to establish a friendship with the magician. It's a great deal. The other side. Fang Bing waited for the man in the suit to leave. Also entered the house. Hydra has found you here, but they should not touch you for the time being. 007. Fang Bing said to Wanda, who was still watching the romance drama. Wanda froze for a moment, after a while, nodding silently. A feeling of powerlessness welled up in my heart. I'll tell Pietro to be careful. It's just, do you know when my super ability will appear? Wanda was a little depressed. She once again experienced the feeling of being out of control. Fang Bing heard her words. Know the panic in her heart. After all, she was still a teenage girl. Encounter this kind of thing. The reaction is normal. Don't be afraid, I will protect you. How about this? I have a special way of practicing spells here. You can practice it when you are idle and bored. It will also help you in ability awakening in the future. Fang Bing thought about it. Decided to pass on meditation to Wanda too. Get her to practice meditation. It's better than her staying at home and watching TV every day. Accumulate some power of the universe. Improve mental strength. Awakening the origin magic power later in the day. It can also become stronger directly. At this moment, Pietro finally ran back. Boss, I found that in the past 2 days, my running has become faster and easier. He went into the living room. See Fang Bing here. Immediately said to Fang Bing excitedly. Now I can run 30 miles at a stretch. Boss, your training plan is really useful. Wanda opened her mouth, not knowing what to say. Fang Bing smiled calmly. Then try your ability now. Whoosh whoosh. Boom. Pietro ran back and forth in the living room a few times at a speed that was hard to discern with the naked eye. Then he bumped his head into the LCD TV in the living room. Knocked the TV out of a big hole, passed out again. That's right, 2 more months of practice will be enough. Shield. In a secret underground base, the bald chief, Nick Fury, was frowning. He is thinking about a big decision, after a long time. Finally made up my mind. Let the agent find Dr. Eric. Dr. Eric was known by the bald director when Thor came. He is the one. Dr. Astronomy who took Thor from S.H.I.E.L.D. But he is more than just a PhD in astronomy. He was once a colleague of Dr. Pym who invented the Pym particle. Also a genius scientist. Ranked #1 all over the world. Now this Dr. Eric has been recruited by Nick Fury to work at S.H.I.E.L.D. Dr. Eric, this Rubik's Cube has huge amounts of power. Is there a way you can use it to create some powerful weapons for S.H.I.E.L.D.? When Dr. Eric came to Nick Fury's office, I saw a Rubik's Cube with blue light in front of the bald director. Dr. Eric looked calm, as if he didn't know such a thing at all. No problem, let me try. Then, S.H.I.E.L.D. has since started preparations for a top-secret laboratory. Secretly formed a project to study Tesseract. The reason why Nick Fury decided to start Tesseract research. Or because he recently saw it with his own eyes. Asgard's so-called avatars feel if a conflict arises. Unstoppable with the power of S.H.I.E.L.D. There is no way to protect the Earth. But Nick Fury meant well, but what he couldn't see was, when he talks to Dr. Eric, Loki, the god of trickery who fell into the abyss of the universe, control Dr. Eric like a marionette, everything from S.H.I.E.L.D. Fang Bing doesn't know yet, he just got a call from Circe the Eternal. Ask where Fang Bing has recently set up a stall. Why can't I find his candied Haas stall in London? And said her friend was coming. I want to bring friends to taste it. This is not the first time Circe has called Fang Bing. Almost every once in a while, Fang Bing can receive her phone and text messages. The content is all asking when Fang Bing will open the stall. But Fang Bing has been too busy recently. No time to set up a stall is a reason to refuse. Until today, she asked Fang Bing again when he was going to set up a stall. Fang Bing gave him an affirmative answer, just because of. I heard she said that a friend came with her. Circe's friends? What if it was someone else from the eternal race? So Fang Bing agreed to Circe's request without any hesitation this time. He opened the portal with one hand, stepped in. When it reappeared, it was already in London. The bench and folding table were taken out from the different space and put down. Then I called Circe. Tell her she's out of business. Just waited for Circe and his friends to arrive. Not long after, Fang Bing saw 3 people coming from the far side of the street. 2 girls and 1 tall man. Both girls, Fang Bing, have met. One is Circe, the goddess who contributed the magical skill of material transformation to Fang Bing. One is Spacey, forever 11-year-old girl. Another tall man. When Fang Bing saw it for the first time. There is only one sentence left in my heart, F*K. He originally thought that this man would be from the eternal race. Igras? J. But Fang Bing never expected it. What appeared in front of him was a person he had never expected. Logan. He has another name. Wolverine. Mutant Wolverine. It has been several months since the Fang Bing awakening system. But he hasn't encountered a single mutant yet. Originally, he thought this universe, just a no mutant. A universe without the X-Men, but never expected. We'll see Wolverine here. He actually knows people from the eternal race? He won't be Green Egress. Have you fallen in love with Circe, the 7,000-year-old goddess? Wolverine is pretty cool. Right. Wolverine has lived nearly 200 years. Met a few 7,000-year-old eternal clansmen. What's weird? This is normal. It's not against the peace at all. Moreover, maybe he's talking and laughing with two eternal girls right now. Isn't it Wolverine? Maybe it's just the looks. I saw a few people approaching. Fang Bing took out the food prepared in advance from the portable space. Dozens of lamb skewers. Dozens of candied haws. Placed on the stand. The reason why it is not taken out in advance. Just because I was afraid of taking it out in advance. It will attract too many ordinary people. At present, in addition to the general human beings who can give Fang Bing the ability of knowledge. For his strength. Basically not much help. Wolverine and Circe chatted as they walked. Circe said with a smile, "It's just ahead. Did you ask about the scent? It's very delicious." Wolverine sniffled. Too bad he doesn't have as good a nose as Circe. Smell nothing. Circe Aunt, you have lived for thousands of years. Why are you so greedy when you haven't eaten anything? Sister, you've already lived 200 years. Do you know how to be polite? If you call me Aunt again, your claws will turn into wood. Circe seems to be on good terms with Wolverine Logan. They also know each other well. It's just that Fang Bing didn't hear how they met. Soon the three of them came to Fang Bing's booth. There are still mutton skewers today. Circe sighed in disbelief. She greeted Fang Bing, regardless of the other two. Picked up a bunch and started eating. Spacey because it's been eaten before. No Fang Bing's craft. Followed by one-handed lamb skewers. One-hand candied haws. The little face of eating is sugar and oil. Wolverine Logan had never seen such a battle before. When he was injured for the first time decades ago. Saved by Circe. Only then did I get to know the goddess of the eternal race. Although I haven't seen many times in these years. But Circe has always been that goddess in his heart. Look at the way they are gobbling up now. A certain string in Wolverine Logan's heart snapped. But soon he couldn't bear it anymore. Because the mutton skewers in front of me are so fragrant. I also tried to pick up a bunch and eat it. Soon Fang Bing's system got the system list of the man in front of him. Fang Bing found out after reading it. Really. He is Wolverine Logan. Logan. Mutant, Super Tribute IV5. This. You have a super strong physique, which is 5 times stronger than ordinary people. Self-healing factor IV8. This man has a very strong recovery ability. As long as his head is not beheaded, he can heal quickly, and normal attacks cannot cause fatal damage to him. Adamantium skeleton. This man's whole body is covered with adamantium, and he can eject adamantium blades from his fingers. Super melee combat LV8. This man has experienced many life and death fights, and has honed a fighting ability far beyond ordinary people. Super vision IV3. This man has very good eyesight and can observe objects from a super long distance. Danger perception LV2. This man can vaguely sense the impending danger. Fang Bing read Wolverine's ability list. I feel that Wolverine really hangs up. Just this one healing ability. You can beat Captain America. Although the physique may be worse than Captain America. But if it's life and death, one Wolverine can play 2 Captain America. After all Wolverine fights. Claws kill. Captain America fights only with Vibranium shield. Vibranium can absorb kinetic energy. It is the most defensive metal. Adamantium is the heaviest and sharpest metal. I don't know if Wolverine can pierce Captain America's shield with her claws. Draw. Congratulations on obtaining self-healing factor IV8. Under Fang Bing's prayer to Mantian gods and Buddhas plus Ancient One. He drew Wolverine Logan's strongest ability, self-healing. With this thing, coupled with his own healing ability and super physique, Fang Bing felt that he was really slowly becoming an unbeatable Shao Qiang. I just don't know if this self-healing factor can be upgraded. As far as he knows, Wolverine in the comics. In the strongest state, it can be reborn from a drop of blood. If I can upgrade this ability to the full level in the future. Should be able to do it too? 10 minutes later. The three of them ate up the mutton skewers and candied haws on the folding table like a storm. Wolverine Logan wiped his mouth. Circe, I kind of understand why you look so ugly, it's so delicious. Then he turned to Fang Bing and asked, my friend, your craftsmanship is great, Can you give me your contact information? Fang Bing smiled. A decisive Wolverine exchanged contact information. This is the first mutant he has encountered in this world. He guessed the current mutant. It should all be hidden. Hidden among billions of ordinary people around the world. So I want to find other mutants. Then Wolverine Logan was the breaking point. There are too many strong players in mutant. A strong man is like a harp. Gray's Phoenix Force. Enough to destroy a multi-universe. Arling. Magneto's magnetic power. Under the in-depth study. That is the electromagnetic force, one of the 4 fundamental forces of the universe. Fang Bing always felt that Magneto was a parallel importer. Did not develop their own potential. If he can improve his ability to control the electromagnetic force. That's not far from becoming the 5 creation gods. Because with Circe and Wolverine I don't really know each other well. It's just the relationship between diners and cooks. Fang Bing is also not good at talking too much with them. It is even impossible to inquire about the news. Say Circe asks where the rest of the Eternals live in seclusion. Ask Wolverine where are the other mutants. It's not easy for him to ask about these things. Otherwise, it will definitely attract hostility. It will be more difficult in the future, so Fang Bing thought of a way. Before they left, show them a little magic trick. Portal. It can be regarded as revealing his identity. After harvesting the surprised eyes of the 3 people. He also said that he is a helpful magic cook. If there is trouble in the future, feel free to call him anytime. If you have time, you will come to help them solve the trouble. But Fang Bing did not mention the identities of the other 3 at all. Just pretending that Circe and Wolverine are normal people. And he is just a kind magician who likes to help ordinary people. Act these out. Fang Bing stepped directly through the portal and disappeared in front of the 3 of them. His purpose of doing this, definitely not for show off. But Fang Bing thinks. Always pretend to be an ordinary cook. I am afraid that many opportunities will be missed. And pretending to be a magician who can open portals is useful. Maybe when the Eternals or mutants are in trouble. I will remember to ask myself for help. Then he has the opportunity to directly contact these people. As long as we can meet each other, there are ways to feed them. In fact, Fang Bing also has other ways to find mutant. As long as he doesn't bother. Follow Wolverine with the portal from now on. Stare at him all the time. Sooner or later the next mutant will be found. But this method is not suitable for Fang Bing 697 who likes to lie flat. He still likes the power users who take the initiative to send him to feed him. Stay up all night tracking or something. It's just 2996. And this method is of no use to the Eternals. Because the Eternals are too alive. Not once in hundreds of years is normal. After leaving London, Fang Bing went directly to Iron Man's luxurious villa. Before coming in this time, Fang Bing specifically uses quantum sensing. He sensed that there was no one else around him. Stay alone in the underground laboratory, after stepping out of the portal. Sure enough, I saw Iron Man tinkering with his Mark armor. Now his Mark armor has been upgraded to 30 generations. It is already relatively strong. Iron Man saw Fang Bing coming. Stop the work in hand. Ask Fang Bing what's up. Can you modify my Quinjet so it can fly in space? Iron Man was in a bit of a dilemma, because this is no small project. Quinjet cannot navigate in space, firstly because of lack of energy, secondly because of lack of gravity system and life support system, and most critically because the material of Quinjet is not hard enough to resist the severe friction through the atmosphere. I can solve everything else. The problem lies in the material of the airframe. I don't have so many aviation metals. If I need to purchase aviation metals, I need to place an order with NASA, and it will take several months to rebuild the airframe. Fang Bing listened to Iron Man's words, knowing that as long as the problem is trying to transform the Quinjet into a spaceship. The tricky part is replacing the entire Quinjet material. Normally, with this skill, it is better to build a spaceship from scratch. It's not a big problem, just give me a simple structure diagram of Quinjet. Fang Bing said confidently. Iron Man was a little confused. But let Jarvis directly hack Quinjet's manufacturing process from the military. Then I found the simplest frame structure diagram from the whole process manufacturing diagram and gave it to Fang Bing. Fang Bing went back and drove Quinjet to Iron Man's proving ground. Then I looked at the frame drawing carefully. Fine. Frame drawings only relate to the structure of the aircraft. 2 hours later, Fang Bing has already looked at it. Then he put his hand on the Quinjet. Quinjet's enclosure, and the core frame material started to change. After a few minutes, although the appearance of Quinjet has not changed at all. Even the paint on the watch is still the original color. But its main frame material, All have been transformed into vibranium. After completing this, Fang Bing then went to call Iron Man. Hey, the biggest problem is solved, you just need to help me install your arc reactor inside, and things like the gravity system. Iron Man tilted his head and glanced at Fang Bing. Dude, are you awake? What did you solve? Isn't this the same plane as before? Fang Bing smiled without saying a word. Just put your finger down. Let him check for himself. Iron Man was helpless. Approached the Quinjet. 10 minutes later. Waterfake. How did you do it? When the body of the entire aircraft is found together with the internal frame. After all became vibranium, Iron Man is dead. This is the whole Quinjet fighter. How much vibranium did it take? The key is how Fang Bing replaced him with vibranium. He still doesn't know Fang Bing's vibranium deal with the bald chief. I also don't know that Fang Bing has the ability to transform matter. That's why I'm so dumbfounded now. See Fang Bing here. Not teasing him either. Demonstrated his material conversion ability directly to Iron Man. F*K. F*K. If I knew you could get vibranium casually, why would I go looking for that black-hearted Bran? You don't even know what price I paid to find him to get some vibranium to add to my battle armor. Iron Man shouted with exasperated regret. Fang Bing suddenly became curious. What price did you pay? Could it be that the bald head has some special hobbies? Iron Man's face darkened when he heard this, almost ran away angrily. Refused to chat with Fang Bing on this topic. Solve this most difficult problem. The rest is very simple. I can transform your Quinjet into space travel within a month, but I'm curious, are you going to travel in space? I need to remind you that even if you add an arc reactor to this plane, because no one has developed a light-speed engine yet, you will not be able to fly very far in space. Iron Man said while looking at Quinjet. Fang Bing shook his head. This is a secret, you just need to help me modify Quinjet. As a reward, I will help you turn this tarmac into vibranium the day your transformation is completed, aren't you happy? Iron Man charged straight up. She reached out to hug Fang Bing and kiss him on the face. Kicked out by Fang Bing. Get lost. I'm sure now that the bald chief must have done something to you. Well, the apron is too big, can we change it? Fang Bing became curious when he heard it. Is there any shame in this? Shouldn't more be better? Where do you want me to be? Iron Man weakly pointed to the luxury villa by the sea behind him. Why don't you turn this into vibranium for me? F*K. Fang Bing was stunned. The area of this villa is not as big as the apron. But it is three-dimensional. This is going to be vibranium. That's tens of thousands of tons. Fang Bing can only change tens of cubic meters at a time. I want to change the whole villa. Wouldn't it take hours? But Fang Bing thought of another thing. Iron Man and Pepper will be attacked in this villa in the future. The entire villa was bombed into the sea by fighter jets. Maybe he can fulfill his wish. It will help him escape this disaster in the future. Anyway, this guy has helped me a lot during this time. Retrofitting the Quinjet would have cost him weeks of his life. Although Fang Bing is not a good person, but it is by no means a heartless person. He believes in the simple truth of repaying kindness with revenge. So decide. Then grant Iron Man's wish. It's just a few extra hours. Okay, I promise you, but the premise is that you have to be more careful when modifying the fighter. When I am satisfied, you will be satisfied. 1. Iron Man nodded repeatedly. Then he muttered about vibranium and started his transformation work. After, Fang Bing asked Iron Man for something again. Then hurried home. Because of what Iron Man said just now. Reminded him of one thing. Iron Man wants to turn his mansion into a vibranium. Why can't my own villa also become a vibranium? Home furnishing. Convert the entire villa to vibranium. Replace windows and doors with the hardest transparent special material. So it doesn't matter if it's Wanda or Pietro. Or wait some time for Sky to come back. Just stay in the villa. There will never be any more danger, when. Then encounter something like the Hulk crashing into the villa. Just let him hit. Fang Bing did not believe that he could smash the tens of thousands of tons of vibranium villas. Meteorites can't be smashed, just do it. Fang Bing took out some samples of special materials that he had just asked Iron Man for. Touched one by one. Then he learned how to transform the material. The villa can use vibranium, I'll use vibranium. Where doors and windows need light, just use these strongest special transparent materials. 2 hours later, Earth's strongest defense fortress built. After the renovation of the villa is completed. Still looks the same as before. Because Fang Bing had already recorded the original appearance of the villa before the renovation. When material is transformed, A layer of camouflage exactly the same as before was transformed directly on the surface of the vibranium villa. In order to make the ground bear such a heavy vibranium villa, Fang Bing also deliberately changed the foundation in advance. Nothing goes wrong. All-round defense. Although the defensive performance of the special transparent glass is slightly worse. But Fang Bing also installed vibranium closed windows that can be opened and closed at any time on the inside of the windows. When in danger, it is only necessary to close the inner vibrating gold ceiling window. It's okay if the special glass outside is broken. The interior of the villa still retains the original decoration. Wanda, sitting on sofa in living room practicing meditation, didn't even feel the change in the villa. When all this is done, Fang Bing just told Wanda and Pietro about the change of the villa and what to do in case of danger. He turned into a doomsday survival madman, even planning to go back and find Iron Man again. Ask him to install arc reactor in his villa, coupled with a circulatory life support system. At that time, even if aliens invade New York, the fight outside was turned upside down. Fang Bing can stay at home and watch TV safely. Leviathan banged his head on the door, without blinking. Just ask, is it strong? Now Fang Bing's only regret is one thing. Last time I was in New Mexico, forgot to touch Thor's hammerhead. To say that the metal in the universe is harder than vibranium. There is only one undisputed, Ulu metal. Mjolnir of Thor. Thor's future Stormax. Thanos' Infinity Gauntlet. Odin's Eternal Lance. Thanos' Tyrant Butcher Knife. All made of this metal. The hardest metal in the universe. It's just that Mjolnir only uses Ulu metal for hammerheads. When Fang Bing went to pull out the hammer, didn't think of this at all. Only the handle of the hammer was held. Thinking about it now, I really regret it. But that's okay. There will be opportunities in the future. It won't be long before Thor, a bastard, should go down again. If you can convert your own villa into Ulu metal. Fang Bing felt that it was the real absolute defense. Because of Captain America's vibranium shield. Later, it was smashed to pieces by Thanos' Tyrant's butcher knife made of Uru metal. Although Mjolnir was crushed by Hela later, not because Ulu metal isn't hard enough, but because Mjolnir was originally Hela's weapon, forged with her magic within. When Hela fought with Odin in the universe, Mjolnir is one of her weapons. After Hela was imprisoned, the weapon had just come into Thor's hands. Thor used second hand. So when Mjolnir was crushed by Hela, it's not that metal isn't hard. Instead, it was disintegrated from within, after remodeling the house. Fang Bing's Mei, full of security, catches up on her sleep at home. Sleep until after waking up in the middle of the night. He remembered the matter of extracting insect abilities before. So get up. Opened a portal in place and returned directly to Hell's Kitchen. Because of the insects he was looking for this time. It's fleas. This disgusting level is no less than a cockroach's thing. Fang Bing thinks it's better to find it in a garbage place like Hell's Kitchen. After walking out of the portal, he appeared on a quiet street. This is where he saved Sky in the first place. Turn on the biodetector on your wrist. Start walking the streets. The cool night breeze blows. Listening to the screams and gunshots that sounded from time to time within a few miles. Also don't have a taste. It was only after 10 minutes of walking on the street. There was still no response from the biodetector. Fang Bing was dumbfounded. When did Hell's Kitchen get so clean? Not even a flea? But he reacted quickly. I may have found the wrong place. Fleas generally only live on humans or animals. The street on which he wandered was too quiet. Not even a bum. How is it possible to find fleas? Fang Bing, who wants to understand, immediately changed the search location. He started walking towards the densely packed apartment buildings. Really. After a few minutes, when he walked to an apartment building, there was a constant hum from the biodetector. Remind him that he has found his purpose. Fang Bing listened to the movement in the building. There was a strange expression on his face. Stepped in. All the way up the stairs. Go to the door of an apartment at the end of the corridor. There was a knock on the door. The movement inside the door stopped immediately. But Fang Bing waited at the door for a minute. Still no one opened the door. He knocked again. The people inside still decided to play dead. Until Fang Bing knocked for the third time. There was a sound from behind the door. Go away. Knock on the door again and kill you. Fang Bing kicked open the door. The man behind the door holding a gun against the door. He kicked and flew out with the anti-theft door. The man who flew out slammed directly into the wall. Died. Fang Bing walked into the apartment. Came directly to the bedroom. Ignore the bed in the bedroom. Blindfolded, gagged man bound in chains. he directly opened the wardrobe in the bedroom. Take Fang Bing's supervision. Immediately found many fleas infested inside. Randomly recruit flea food prepared in advance from a different space out of thin air. Throw it in the closet. Then close the closet door. Quietly waiting for the moment of harvest. After a few minutes, the system has successfully obtained the superstar's ability list. Flea attack IV6. This flea can jump to a height 100 times its height, looking for targets to parasitize and reproduce. Toxic infection LV1. This flea carries various bacteria and viruses, which can cause parasites to infect diseases. Fear of light LV5. This flea is very afraid of light and likes to live in damp and dark places. Blood-sucking LV1. This flea likes to suck the blood of the host to mate and reproduce. Cocooning LV1. This flea will cocoon to protect itself when it grows up. Fang Bing read the ability list. There is no hesitation at all. Then came the batch extraction. Soon, after hundreds of draws have been made, he managed to get a level 10 flea strike. As for other abilities, it all sucks. Directly disabled. Flea attack LV10. Although your body structure is different from that of a flea, you have mastered its jumping power skill skillfully, and you have a jumping ability that is 20 times higher than your body height. It is the same as the power of ants obtained before. Although Fang Bing got the full level of flea attack, but because the body structure is different, the effect is discounted. The strongest fleas can jump 150 times their own height. But Fang Bing is the same as before. Got less than 1/6 the effect. That is only 20 times, although it doesn't sound like much. Fang Bing is 1.8 meters tall, jump 20 times. That's 36 meters. A floor is generally only about 3 meters. That is, Fang Bing can now jump directly to the height of a 12-story building. And that's not counting the bonus of his originally super physique. So Fang Bing can't estimate how high he can jump now. Can only wait to go out and try, after doing my own thing. Fang Bing looked at the thin and handsome man who was bound by chains. He stepped forward. He broke the 4 chains on the corner of the bed. Just opened the portal and left. What I saw just now was too eye-catching. Fang Bing needs to wash his eyes. Simply open the portal directly above the sea. After stepping out of the portal, falling directly towards the sea. But Fang Bing didn't let himself fall into the sea this time. But at the moment when he was about to fall into the water, the legs are slightly bent. Use a unique jumping technique. Then he stepped back on the sea. Boom. It was as if a bomb had been detonated on the sea. A counterforce appeared from under Fang Bing's feet. Hold up his body. Bang, 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 bang. Fang Bing stepped on the sea and started running. Every step will cause violent turbulence in the sea under your feet. Every step can bounce 10 meters away. The bright moon on the sea shines on Fang Bing, who is running. He ran for half an hour. With a long whistle, I feel very comfortable in my heart. Just fell into the water. I went to wash my eyes. Swimmed in the sea. Ate dozens of oysters. Fang Bing just opened the portal in the sea. Back in the city. He finds a tall building. Stand downstairs. Get ready to put your jumping ability to the test. When I was in the sea just now, because the seawater under your feet is liquid, most of the force of his jump was buffered. It only jumped 10 meters away. Now he will try. How high can you jump on land? Can it reach the level that little Peter will become Spiderman in the future? Boom. Fang Bing jumped up in place. The road surface subsides slightly. But it didn't make a big hole like he thought. This is due to the special jumping technique you just got. The body began to rise rapidly. 10 meters, 20 meters, 30 meters, 40 meters, 50 meters, up to 50 meters. Fang Bing stopped rising. Go down. He has measured his current limit jump height. Relying on the skills of super physique bonus and flea power, he has successfully jumped to a height of 50 meters. That's the equivalent of a 16-story building. At the moment, Fang Bing's body fell rapidly. When it touches the ground again, he jumped out again in an instant. This time it's not just about jumping up, he jumped up to the 16th floor of this 30-story building. When reaching the 16th floor, in an instant, he stretched out his feet and stepped on the balcony protruding from this floor again. Whoosh. Next second, Fang Bing jumped directly onto the roof of this 90-meter-high apartment building and, after arriving at the rooftop of the 30-story building, Fang Bing looked up at the starry sky with the night wind blowing. I feel very comfortable. Abilities he has acquired in the past. Never before has he had the ability to jump like Superman. To know, the distance between buildings in the city is basically no more than 50 meters. Can jump 50 meters. means he can jump between tall buildings infinitely. Fang Bing stood on the edge of the rooftop, ready to continue jumping all the way home to catch up on sleep. Fang Bing? A surprised voice suddenly appeared behind him. Fang Bing was taken aback. It seems to realize something. Look back. I saw the one behind me wearing tights. A man with a torn hood on his head stood on the other side of the rooftop. Fang Bing saw his attire. Just know who he is. His high school classmate at Midtown High, now a college classmate at Columbia University. A man who contributed super hearing to himself. Daredevil. Matthew Murdock. I just cared about excitement. He even forgot to listen to the movement on the rooftop downstairs in advance. Didn't notice that Daredevil Matthew was also on the roof. This is just great. Not only was he saw himself jumping up from downstairs, he also found out his identity. Never mind. 860. Just expose it. Isn't Matthew wearing a headgear himself anyway? Hurt each other. Ha, Matthew. Why are you here? The moonlight on the roof is beautiful, right? Fang Bing walked forward with a look of surprise. Patted Matthew on the shoulder, regardless of Matthew still wearing a hood. It directly broke his identity. Daredevil Matthew is dead. What? What happened? Am I revealing my identity? Obviously I'm still wearing a helmet. How did you find out my identity? My name is not Matthew, you have misunderstood the person. Daredevil Matthew also tried to cover up. He just finished his heroism tonight. Some tired. Came to this rooftop rest meeting. And stand tall and far away. This can help him more accurately obtain the dynamics of nearby blocks. Then he heard it. Something jumped from the downstairs to the upper floor of the 90-meter-high apartment building. He didn't even think it was human at first, because as far as he knows, there is no Superman in the comics in this world. How could someone be able to jump tens of meters high? Then, next second, he found his old friend Fang Bing appeared on the rooftop. Although he is blind, but he also has super hearing and a keen sense of smell. The smell of a person. Once he had smelled it, he would never forget it. The moment Fang Bing appeared upstairs, Matthew recognized his identity. Surprised. I couldn't help but make a sound. But thought. A moment ago, he had just revealed Fang Bing's identity. Next second, he himself was called out by Fang Bing. Your name is not Matthew Murdock, but the devil from Hell's Kitchen? You kid think I won't know you if you wear a hood? Fang Bing casually summoned a case of beer from the storage space. A pot of steaming spicy crayfish. Put it on the surrounding rock of the roof. After stuffing the can of beer into Matthew's hand. Snapped. He opened a can and drank it himself. Matthew stared blankly at the beer in his hand. And that pot of spicy crayfish exuding fragrance. Still somewhat unacceptable. This is how his identity was revealed. This is the biggest secret he has hidden for many years. In this world, only Gunsao knows about it. Okay, don't be dazed, I won't tell anyone. Fang Bing was still in a daze when he saw Matthew. Peeling the crayfish smiled and comforted. Matthew regained his strength. He took a sip of beer. I also learned from Fang Bing to peel the crayfish directly by hand. That's it for two people. 1 sip of beer and 1 sip of spicy crayfish. Eat it on the rooftop of the 30-story building. After a while, shrimp was also full. I had enough wine too. Matthew couldn't help but be full of doubts. Are you Superman? How can you jump so high? How can a beer crayfish appear out of nowhere? Are you a magician? Most importantly, how did you recognize me? Matthew asked a bunch of questions, but Fang Bing was not ready to answer any of them. He laughed and said, did you forget that you were blind? Actually, I came up by the stairs. I packed the beer crayfish from a Chinese restaurant. I recognized you because you have a nice voice. Fang Bing finished speaking. Whoosh jumped into the air. Jumped towards the roof of another building. In this way, he kept leaping on the roof of the tall building. Soon, it disappeared within Matthew's hearing range. Matthew was dumbfounded. If it wasn't for Fang Bing running too fast, he will definitely grab Fang Bing by the collar. Ask the guy if he's taking him for a fool. Fang Bing leapt all the way. He quickly returned to his villa, although it is already late at night. But Wanda was still up. Still sitting cross-legged on the sofa in the living room meditating. Fang Bing looked at her serious look. Couldn't help but nodded. I thought about it. Wanda deserves to be the master of origin magic power in the future. Also learned the Scarlet Witch from the Book of Darkness. Her success and strength are not accidental, just thought of this. Fang Bing heard Wanda's faint snoring. A head full of question marks. Girl, what's the matter with you? Did you fall asleep after a long time? Can you fall asleep while meditating? Fang Bing stepped forward and pinched her nose. Still awake. After a while, I saw her stretch out her hands. Began to flutter in the air. Ah, let me go. Don't eat me. Forehead next moment. She was baring her teeth and claws and suddenly woke up from her dream. Because if you don't wake up, you will suffocate to death. Fang Bing let go of his hand, watching her quietly. Wanda glanced at Fang Bing. Not red in the face and out of breath. Sophie said, I really didn't fall asleep. I just visualized a big octopus when I was meditating, but I didn't expect it to want to bite me. Do you know what's going on here? Does meditating on the giant octopus portend something? She solemnly explained her behavior just now. He even asked Fang Bing a question in turn. Fang Bing was almost laughed at by her. God damn meditates on the big octopus, you are just dreaming. Fang Bing didn't bother to talk to her. Leave a sentence. If you want to sleep, go back to your own room and sleep, it is easy to catch cold outside. Just walked towards his bedroom, tossing midnight. It's time for him to catch up on sleep too, though meditation can replace sleep. But people who don't even sleep late, how is it different from salted fish? After Fang Bing left, Wanda's face suddenly turned red. Touched his nose. I was angry and ashamed. I clearly want to meditate hard. Why did you just fall asleep? To practice meditation. Do you not even watch your favorite TV these days? Why do I still fall asleep while meditating? Since learning to meditate. This happens every time. It was normal when I first entered the meditative state. Then I fell asleep thinking about it. Could it be that he has no magic ability? Wanda was a little frustrated. Get up from the sofa. Back to the bedroom and went to sleep. It's just that Wanda doesn't know. Every time when she fell asleep meditating, her body will quickly begin to absorb cosmic energy. The speed is not lower than that of Fang Bing, who is at the full level of meditation. It's just that she only has one meditation solution now. I can't feel the change in myself at all. Early the next morning. After Fang Bing got up. First recruit the gourmet generator to give yourself a luxurious breakfast. Spicy soup with chicken rolls, the combination of Chinese and Western. Eating. Suddenly, I remembered something that I had left behind for a long time. Suddenly there was a sound in my heart. 2 bites finished the rest of the meal. Opened a portal with one hand. Drilled in. When it reappears. Have reached the bottom of the vibranium cell. I saw Xiao Huang, who had lost a lot of weight in the cell. I couldn't help feeling ashamed. So busy these days. Forget about the fact that I still have a small pet at the bottom of the sea. Fortunately, Xiao Huang's vitality is strong. Otherwise, I would have starved to death, but although not starved to death. The original body originally has huge amounts of Shalwang than the Hulk. Also dying. Even if its physique is strong. It is also biological. Requires compliance with the law of conservation of energy. Prolonged periods without food for energy. It can only consume the energy it originally stored. Lead to starvation and thin circle. Almost skinny. It's not the same as Captain America being trapped under the ice. Captain America has been under the ice for 70 years. It is equivalent to 0.4 being frozen and suspended for 70 years. He doesn't need to consume his own energy very much. If Captain America is also locked in this vibranium cell, it is estimated that he starved to death in less than a month. See Fang Bing enter the door. Xiao Huang, who was lying on the ground dying, choked and wanted to crawl over. But he has no strength left. He could only look at Fang Bing with aggrieved eyes. It's like asking, are you trying to starve this baby to death? Fang Bing hurried forward. Stacks of well-done steaks spawned using the gourmet generator. There is also a large basin of glucose water. Start feeding it. Little Huang's eyes lit up. Immediately got up the spirit and started to gobble it up. After an hour, following Xiao Huang, he ate hundreds of caddies of food. Its body is strong again. The body shape has also returned to its original appearance. What surprised Fang Bing even more? Xiao Huang, after eating, he actually knelt down on the ground and rubbed his palms. It didn't have this attitude before. This means that it has completely surrendered to the master Fang Bing. Fang Bing couldn't help being surprised. Could it be that raising an abomination is the same as raising a puppy? If you don't obey me, you will be obedient after a hungry meal. Then do you want to try to lock up the Hulk in the future? After discovering that Xiao Huang became obedient, Fang Bing opened the portal. Take it temporarily out of the vibranium cell under the sea. He wants to see it. Can Xiao Huang become a qualified pet? After going out from the portal, Fang Bing brought it to the barren hills before. Xiao Huang stood beside him and looked left and right. But he didn't run away on his own. Fang Bing was quite satisfied when he saw this. Then he pointed to the black bear in the forest. That's right. It was the black bear that Fang Bing used to test the healing ability before. Give it to me, to live. Xiao Huang didn't seem to understand. Looked at the black bear. I looked at Fang Bing again. Fang Bing said it again. Xiao Huang finally seemed to understand. He rushed out with a bang. The ground under his feet has stepped out of a big hole. The black bear in the distance heard the movement. Turn around and run. But how could it outrun Xiao Huang? A few seconds later, Xiao Huang slapped him down to the ground. The black bear screamed when it was shot. Seeing this, Fang Bing thought he was going to eat roasted bear paws for lunch today. But unexpectedly, Xiao Huang actually obeyed Fang Bing's order. The black bear was not shot dead, instead pinched the neck. Pick it up. Started running towards Fang Bing. After a few seconds, Xiao Huang came back with that poor black bear. Stand beside Fang Bing. He stretched out his hand and wanted to hand the bear to him. Fang Bing was very happy to see this scene. I know that this time it is true 09 is subdued. This is a monster that can only fight back and forth with the Hulk. When you need to fight later, the low-level stuff doesn't have to be shot by itself. Just pull a portal and send Xiao Huang to get it done. Full of deterrence, there was just one problem that gave Fang Bing a headache. He is a late-stage lazy cancer. I really don't want to go to the bottom of the sea to feed Xiao Huang often. If you forget it next time, didn't think about it for a month or two. Wouldn't that just starve it to death, or take it back to the villa? No no no. Fang Bing immediately rejected this idea in his heart. Although my own villa is not afraid of it tossing. But both Wanda and Pietro also live in the villa. Now I'm not sure if it will go crazy in the future. So never take it back. So what to do? Fang Bing pondered. Looking for a way to have the best of both worlds. Sudden, he saw the mutated fins on Xiao Huang's body. There is a bold guess in my heart. Think about it and try it. Fang Bing opened an orange portal with one hand. Take Xiao Huang back to the vibranium cell on the bottom of the sea. Xiao Huang came back here again. Looked a little uneasy. But Fang Bing ignored it for the time being. Instead, he pressed his hand to the wall of the vibranium cell. Soon a door appeared in the wall. Seawater rushed in through the door. After a few seconds, the vibranium cells have been filled with seawater. Fang Bing looked at Xiao Huang in the cell. Wanted to see if it worked as I thought it would. Really. At the beginning, Xiao Huang thumped twice in the seawater. But soon a surprised expression appeared on his face. It discovered that it could breathe in the sea. So he began to swim curiously in the cell filled with seawater. Fang Bing sighed inwardly, as expected, when he noticed the fins on Xiao Huang's body just now. Just realized that it might be able to adapt to life underwater. After testing, it turned out to be the case. Then his headache problem will be solved. Just put Xiao Huang into the sea. Let it hunt in the sea by itself. You don't need to feed it as often. When you need to use it, just open the portal call by its side. Think about it. Fang Bing thought it was perfect. I just thought I had to make a nest for it. Went to Iron Man again. I asked him for a drawing and looked at it. After. Pressed his hand on the ground again to activate the material transformation. Began to rebuild on the basis of the original vibranium cell. Add a new closed chamber that can isolate seawater. Also expanded the area. 10 minutes later. Xiao Huang's nest at the bottom of the sea has been built. This nest is given with reference to Iron Man. Submarine closed room drawings built. The interior is dry and anhydrous. When Xiao Huang went out, there is direct access to the sea through the closed chamber. When you come back after eating, you won't bring seawater with you. After finishing all this, Fang Bing gave Xiao Huang some more orders. In particular, it was not allowed to go on land. Only then did I leave with confidence, but Fang Bing did not leave the sea. He was going to take advantage of boredom. Continue to search for those creatures with special abilities in the sea. So far, he only gets the electric shock of the electric eel from the sea. And neurotoxins from box jellyfish. Both abilities are very powerful. Gave him a lot of help. Electric shock LV7. It is now his strongest area attack ability. Neurotoxin IV9. It greatly improved his attack power. Yes, even the Hulk and the Abomination. This kind of monster with super physique is not completely immune to the toxin. Fang Bing wants to continue searching today. See if you can upgrade these two abilities to the full level. Or find some other special ability creatures. He spotted a great white shark passing by. After a few punches to subdue it. Ride on it. The biosensor on the wrist was turned on. Start to let the great white shark lead you to wander the bottom of the sea. Under the deep sea, there are all kinds of weird things. Ancient shipwreck. Mopan-sized crabs. Fang Bing lazily admired it, while waiting for the feedback from the biological detector. But the sea is boundless, it's just too vast. An hour later, Fang Bing did not find the target creature. And the great white shark is farther and farther away. It gets deeper and deeper. Fang Bing couldn't even tell where he was. When he thought about getting here today, when ready to give up, suddenly the hairs stand on end. Realized that an unknown danger was coming. Next second, a giant tentacle with a thickness of 3 meters and a length of more than 20 meters protruded from the deep sea below the great white shark. Lightning rolled towards the great white shark. Fang Bing, who has not paid attention to the movement below, get out of the way. It narrowly escaped the attack range of the giant tentacles. And his temporary mount, the poor great white shark, got tangled up in the tentacles. In an instant, he was dragged into the deep sea and disappeared. Fang Bing broke out in a cold sweat. It feels too scary. His super hearing is not as strong in the sea as it is on land. Just now, I didn't notice the giant sea monster that suddenly attacked below. Definitely, he wasn't scared because he couldn't beat this thing. And purely because it was the first time I saw this kind of deep sea giant. It popped out again. I was taken aback, after slowing down. Fang Bing felt that he couldn't let it go so easily. Dare to scare yourself. He even dared to eat his own mount. How can you do it without paying the price? Because it was found that the sea monster had already run away. I don't know where I went. Fang Bing can only turn on the biological detector. The conditions for finding giant creatures are also recorded. In this way, when the biological detector detects an oversized creature, Fang Bing will be called the police. After getting ready, he began to quickly chase in the direction where the great white shark was being dragged away. Has a bonus that increases swimming speed ability, plus super physique and divine power. In fact, Fang Bing can swim faster than that great white shark. Before, he used the great white shark as a mount just to be lazy. By the way, experience the feeling of riding a shark. Half an hour later, Biodetector 587 has finally tracked down the giant sea monster. Fang Bing quickly chased after it. After a while, it was found in a trench. I also saw the true face of this giant sea monster. It turned out to be a giant octopus sea monster with 8 tentacles. Its head is as big as a house. Each of the 8 tentacles is more than 20 meters long. More than 3 meters thick. There are also basin-sized suction cups all over the tentacles. And at this moment, it was sucking the flesh of the great white shark with its tentacles. A 5-meter-long great white shark, in the twine of several of its tentacles. Like a little one. Fang Bing was amazed. Just rushed up. The giant octopus sea monster spotted Fang Bing's arrival. I thought there was another ration delivered to my door. The great white shark was thrown away casually. Extended several huge amounts of tentacles toward Fang Bing. Fang Bing reached out and grabbed the tentacle. With brute force, he forced the octopus sea monster to stagger. He grabbed the tentacles with one hand, seeing that other tentacles will be entangled soon. As soon as the other hand stretched out, it activated the material conversion ability. In an instant, a vibranium knife transformed from seawater appeared in his hand. With a swing of the knife, pissed, the 3-meter-thick tentacle in front of him was cut off. Then he swung the knife again and again. Cut off the other tentacles of the giant octopus sea monster as well. After a while, a bald giant octopus head appeared in front of Fang Bing. The tentacles have all been severed. It's not looking good. Still want to run. However, he was paralyzed by Fang Bing's electric shock. After controlling this big thing, Fang Bing didn't kill it. Because if you want to kill, Fang Bing can get rid of it early by simply turning on the neurotoxin. As for what to keep, definitely force feed it. Check out this giant sea monster that's rare for humans. Is there any special ability? Fang Bing's electric shock was not strong enough. After the giant sea monster was electrocuted, it recovered in a few seconds. It just wanted to squirt ink and take the opportunity to escape. But at the moment Fang Bing is already close to it. The saber in his hand transformed into a giant sledgehammer several meters in size. A hammer hit it on the forehead. Help it shut up. Then Fang Bing continued to swing the sledgehammer. Hit again and again. After beating this giant octopus with only its head left, it was only half-breathed. Seeing to fight again, just hammered it into a meat sauce. Fang Bing just stopped. Randomly recruited a ball of meatballs. Opened the mouth of the giant octopus with a giant hammer. I stuffed it in. After stuffing it in, Fang Bing was afraid that it would not eat it. He poked it hard with a hammer. Finally, after a few minutes, with Fang Bing's unremitting efforts. The giant octopus sea monster humiliated Ly accepted the feeding. Swallowed that ball of meat. Fang Bing sitting on the head of an octopus. I also received a mechanical notification that the system successfully extracted the ability list. Octopus Sea Monster. Son of Quagos, Inkjet LV9. When it senses danger, it will spit superstar ink to cover itself and escape. Quagos Bloodline. Special. It has a trace of the legendary Quagos bloodline, and its body can grow infinitely. Mimicry Color Change LV8. It can change the color and state of the body, easily blending into the surrounding environment. Octopus Sea Monster Giant Power IV7. This alienated giant octopus possesses unrivaled strength of 10,000 caddies. Giant Tentacles LV8. This octopus sea monster has 8 huge tentacles to help it hunt its prey. F*K. When Fang Bing saw the name of the octopus in the ability list. The first reaction is disbelief, his second reaction. Just immediately opened a giant portal in place. Then take the big octopus with its 8 severed tentacles. Throw them all in. Then he also got into the portal immediately after. Left that sea area. When he appeared again. I have returned to the barren mountains and mountains before. After closing the portal, Fang Bing let out a long sigh of relief. When seeing the word son of Quagos, he realized that he might not be safe there. Because Quagos this thing. Fang Bing never thought that this Marvel universe would really exist. What is Quagos? It is the offspring of beholders. What is a beholder? Beholders are one of the great villains in the Marvel universe. It was born from chaos. It has another name. The nameless tentacle monster, 01 of the old lords of the Marvel universe. It is more powerful than Mephisto Dormammu. It came to the Earth in ancient times. Is the king of the Earth's Jurassic period. He was later expelled from this universe forever. But, although the beholder was expelled, it was a long time ago, created an offspring based on himself. That's Quagos. Later, Quagos challenged the beholder because of his overreach. Sealed in the depths of the sea by the beholder. And now, Fang Bing encountered this giant octopus on the bottom of the ocean. The system actually prompts that he is the heir of Quagos. A trace of Quagos' blood, although Quagos is far worse than the beholder. But it's definitely not something the current self can deal with. And easy to guess, its seal has likely loosened. Otherwise, how could its offspring appear in the sea? After learning that he had killed an ancient Mephisto's offspring, Fang Bing was the first to clean up the corpse of the octopus sea monster. He quickly left the scene of the crime, for fear of being discovered by Quagos. Halfway across the Pacific Ocean. Give yourself a black magic curse from afar. Fang Bing already safe. Now there is only one feeling left. How dangerous is the Marvel universe? Maybe one day I was eating, sleeping, and playing doo-doo. Just out of nowhere came a big villain. Come over with a slap. Forget it. Becoming stronger is the last word. Draw. Congratulations on getting the mimic color change LV8. Well, not bad, Fang Bing said to himself. He was quite satisfied with getting this. Other abilities of the giant octopus, except for the giant octopus. He doesn't like anything else. Obtaining the ability naturally needs to be tested. He walked up to a big rock. Mimetic color change is activated. He raised his hand and looked at his arm. Sure enough, he turned into a stone color. Body shape? Basically unchanged, but it can also faintly match the texture of the surface of the big stone. There's just one problem. The clothes won't change color. There's an egg. What kind of nonsense ability is this? Could it be that every time I want to hide myself in the future? Are you going to run naked first? Wouldn't that be perverted? Fang Bing complained madly angrily. Finally couldn't bear to go back. He trampled to death the head of the big octopus that was still bouncing on the ground. Seeing the dead octopus on the ground has attracted ants. Considering that I will often come here as a foothold in the future. Fang Bing reached out and pressed it. Although his material conversion cannot convert living creatures. But the octopus is now dead. No problem at all. The octopus limbs instantly turned into mud and blended into the ground. This trip to the bottom of the sea. Fang Bing felt his greatest achievement. Just learned that there is a big boss Bogos under the sea. And it may be about to break through the seal. Be careful when going to the sea in the future. Wanna hit his head on the seal. That's great fun. Secondly, he felt that it was time for him to find a way to increase his magic resistance. Although his body is already very strong now. Physical defense is only slightly worse than Hulk. Magic resistance is still worse. Extreme environmental resistance previously acquired from cockroaches. It is estimated that it cannot withstand attacks such as the black magic curse. But Fang Bing couldn't think of how to obtain abilities such as magic resistance for the time being. And if you go to Iron Man for this kind of question, you probably won't get any answers. Simply resorted to a unique trick. He took out his phone on the spot. Start posting online asking for help. I met a magician who wanted to kill me. How can I improve the magic resistance clothing? Then he waited for the sand sculpture netizens to give him advice. 5 minutes later, he refreshed the page. It was found that the post had been covered dozens of floors. If the magician is a woman, you can kneel down and marry her. If it's a man, you can use a few more fat tails. This is a reply from a person named Rich Woman Happy Planet. One punch kills him, and you don't need magic resistance. 6 Banshee Veils. Fang Bing looked at the sand sculpture replies from netizens. Couldn't help laughing out loud, but none of these suggestions worked for him. He can only continue to read, until I saw a statement. I chose to eat water bear worms, eat 10,000 to pile up the magic resistance to the top. With magic, the magic city is destroyed. Although it is impossible for Fang Bing to eat tardigrades. But this sand sculpture netizen also managed to remind Fang Bing. There are also amazing creatures like water bears on the earth. It's just that Fang Bing thought about it carefully. I feel that I may only have a small chance of getting the ability of the tardigrade. Because this thing is too small, although it is still an animal. Not some bacteria, but generally less than a millimeter. 1 millimeter. That's how big it is. Much smaller than a flea. Although this creature is small, but it is now the creature most likely to provide Fang Bing with magic resistance. Because what tardigrades are best at is survival. Although its physical resistance is poor, all it takes is a twist of your fingers. It can be directly crushed to death, but other than that, almost any extreme natural environment on Earth can kill it. It can survive in a high-temperature environment of 150 degrees. It can also survive in the extremely cold region of -200 degrees. All kinds of radioactive substances can't kill it. Nuclear radiation is a piece of cake for it. The body can withstand a pressure of 600 megapascals. Can survive in the deepest trench in the world. This is a creature with super vitality, although a little unsure. But Fang Bing finally got inspiration from sand sculpture netizens. How can you not give it a try? So the portal was opened. I came to the home of my logistics technical consultant again. Found the technical advisor who is upgrading the Quinjet. Asked him to upgrade the biodetector. Although the technical consultant was a little upset, someone interrupted his train of thought. But still seriously meet Fang Bing's request. After an hour. After Fang Bing wears the upgrade. A biodetector that can detect tiny animals like tardigrades. Came to a swamp in the Amazon jungle. Here's him before with Sky. When idle and bored. Where Kai-Kun fighter jets hung out. So he can directly open the portal to come here. As for why you want to come here, the reason is simple. This kind of place is the favorite environment for tardigrades. Really. Fang Bing just came out of the portal. The biometric detector on the wrist began to buzz frantically. Found the water bear. Everywhere. That's the next step. Time to think about how to feed, after the biodetector rang. Fang Bing looked for it according to the direction indicated by the door. Soon came to a puddle. Biodetector display. A dozen tardigrades live in the murky waterhole. Although Fang Bing has supervision, but he really couldn't see through this muddy puddle. I didn't even see where the tardigrades with a file size of only 1 millimeter were. But he didn't panic at all, because he doesn't need to see it. As long as the water bear is willing to eat the food he made, it will be fine. Fang Bing skillfully recruited the food maker. Then I started to think about how to make the food that water bears love to eat. Just now when Iron Man helped him upgrade the biological detector. He had already taken the time to check the water bear worm's information. And the preferences of these little cuties. I learned that water bears like to eat keratin. Keratin is a general term for natural pigments. Widely present in the pigments of various animals and plants. But what exactly is keratin in it? Although Fang Bing went to Columbia University. And it's medicine. Logically speaking, he should be familiar with these. But the problem is, from college to now, he didn't take a few serious classes in total. What I see now is sweat on the forehead, but think about it. Water bears like to eat something called keratin. So why don't we just feed it carrots? There must be keratin in carrots, right? Otherwise, why is it called keratin instead of white manto element? Anyway, you have nothing to lose by trying. Fang Bing went straight to making food from carrots. A carved raw carrot is directly generated, because he is afraid that the carrots will not contain keratin when they are cooked. Pick up this carrot. Slowly into the puddle. He was afraid that all the cuties of 983 would be thrown into the air. Watch the carrot slowly sink into the puddle. Fang Bing began to wait silently, according to his experience. If successful, the ability list can be extracted within 1 minute at the slowest. But he waited and waited. Wait and wait. Been waiting for 10 minutes. I also didn't hear the mechanical sound prompted by the system. It's okay. He has patience. So he squatted by the puddle for another 10 minutes. Just when he was about to give up, the long-awaited reminder suddenly came out of my mind. Water bear, heaven-given resistance IV9. It can survive in any natural extreme environment, and cockroaches are simply weaker than it. Cryptic life. Special, it can drain body fluids when encountering extreme environments, enter a state of hidden life and suspended animation, and can be revived when it encounters water again. Crawling LV1. As a tardigrade, snail crawling looks like a rocket launch. Shedding LV1. In order to maintain development, it will shed its skin every once in a while. Ovulation IV3. When it breeds, it can release many eggs at a time. In Fang Bing's opinion, the ability list of the tardigrade is simply weak. Because water bears are small animals with fragile bodies. It's just that the natural resistance is very strong. A random 3-year-old child can trample hundreds of them to death with one kick. In other words, although the water bear insect is strong against magic, but the physical resistance is 0. Except for one, heaven-given resistance. The others are rubbish. Cryptobiosis depends on the unique body structure of tardigrades. Tardigrades are simple creatures with only a head and limbs. Only in this way can we achieve hidden life, fake death and resurrection when encountering water. And this ability is useless to Fang Bing at all. Because he has Wolverine's self-healing when he fights. Even if he can use it. So what if you enter suspended animation if you lose the battle? Being slashed with a knife still becomes a real death. Only the God-sent ability is the real hang. Water bears are small animals that are invisible to the human eye. To be so well known, thanks to its ability. Can live in a vacuum. Can live in extreme cold. Can live under great pressure. Can survive radiation. These books count as magic resistance. The same is true. When Fang Bing upgrades the ability integrate upgrade of the drawn tardigrade. Obtained, water bear insect resistance LV10. Then this ability is actually integrated with the extreme stamina IV10 obtained from the cockroach before Fang Bing. In the end, these two skills integrate and evolve into a new ability. And this ability gave Fang Bing the magic resistance that Fang Bing lacks most now. God level resistance LV3. You have strong resistance to energy attacks of all attributes. You can be completely immune to low-level energy damage, and have certain damage reduction for low-level and above energy damage. Fang Bing feels like he's blown away. The little tardigrade actually gave him magic resistance. And it's all attribute energy resistance. Take it literally. This means the ability that Fang Bing possesses. Magic on any attribute. Whether it's dark magic, or origin magic power or white magic. Even other energy attacks that are not magic. Have a certain resistance. This gave Fang Bing a great sense of security. Especially after he found a Cthulhu like Mephisto on the bottom of the sea. In Fang Bing's view, beholders are the Cthulhu of this world. And it created Quagos. It is of the same root as it in power. It's just much weaker than it, and this indescribable Cthulhu type Mephisto. What he is best at is to control human thoughts and make human beings fall into crazy black magic. Fang Bing has been restless since he came out of the sea. That's why he was anxious to find a way to resist. Used to beware. In case one day I don't pay attention, I can't help but become a crazy believer of Quagos. Next. Fang Bing left the swamp, because the tardigrade was useless to him. Obtained the post-resistance of the full-level tardigrade. It can no longer be superimposed. Otherwise, it would be strange if he didn't superimpose until he has absolute defense. But there is nothing so beautiful in the world. Although Fang Bing is looking forward to reaching the sky in one step. But also know that's not realistic, can become stronger step by step. He is very satisfied. Next, he needs to find a way to test it. How awesome is his so-called God-level resistance? Open an orange portal with one hand, walk in. When I came out, I arrived at the barren hill again. Fang Bing found an open space. Find some more wood. Piled up in a pile. Fire. Grill yourself. Although Fang Bing doesn't know what level of low-level energy is. But he can test, since it is said to be all attribute resistance. The flame should also belong to one of them, right? So Fang Bing roasted himself like this, definitely. He didn't skewer himself on the iron rod and roast over the fire. Because that would be so embarrassing, he is not that kind of man. So he just sat by the fire. Put your left hand over the fire to roast. Really. God-level resistance lives up to its name. When Fang Bing put his hand on the flame, he couldn't feel the heat of the flame at all. I just felt a little warmth. He couldn't do it before. Even if he has an 8th level super physique. Physical fitness is second only to the Hulk, but being burned by fire still feels pain. It's just that it won't be burned to death or burned very badly. And now, the situation has completely changed. Ordinary flames are completely harmless to him. To know, the temperature at the top of the flame of a pile of firewood can reach 500 degrees Celsius. But now it doesn't work for Fang Bing at all. After testing the normal flame, Fang Bing already has a rough idea of his own ability. But he knows, I must not only be able to defend against ordinary flames. Because his god-level resistance level is 3, ordinary flames. At most, it can be counted as a level 1, right? Definitely Fang Bing, this is just speculation. He can't find other magicians or energy weapons to attack him now. But he still has to continue testing, because there is another place that can provide him with a harsher testing environment. Open the portal. When Fang Bing appeared again, already came to the crater of an active volcano in Hawaii. That's right. He wanted to see if the magma could hurt himself. The temperature of the magma is much higher than that of the flame. The highest temperature can reach 1400 degrees. Come to the side of the crater. Fang Bing was not stupid enough to jump in directly. In case his resistance is not enough to withstand such a high temperature. Even if you jump directly, you can survive by relying on your super physique. I'm afraid at least a layer of skin has to be burned off. So, prudent. Fang Bing just grabbed the rock wall with his hands. Slowly climbed into the crater. I went down until I was only half a meter away from the lava. Only then did he bend down and slowly put his hands into the hot magma below. Grass. Pain. Fang Bing withdrew his palm from the lava and took a look. The palms have turned red, but it's okay. It's just red. Originally, this magma could melt steel. When he stretched out his hand just now, only felt a tingling pain. But it did not cause substantial damage to his hand. This should be the damage reduction for damage above low-level energy mentioned in the ability description, right? And the magma didn't actually hurt him. It means that the magma has not yet reached the medium level of energy damage to oneself. So Fang Bing deduced, lava energy damage should be between low and medium level. That's what makes you feel pain. It was just the result of burning my hands until they turned red. Then, Fang Bing knew it in his heart. He took off his clothes and put them in the storage space. Thump. Fang Bing jumped down the crater, jumped into the magma. Today, he wants to experience the feeling of taking a bath in the rock, slurry. Hiss. Pain. Tingling all over, but Fang Bing held back. Think of it as cupping and scraping. After a few seconds, he was flushed all over. Feel the power of the prehistoric surge in the body. Start swimming in the lava magma pool. 3 minutes later, he jumped out with a jerk. I can't stand it anymore. If you heat it up, it will be cooked. Now he also knows his current limit. In the magma, he can last up to 10 minutes. Otherwise, you may be harmed. After testing yourself, you get a new ability. Fang Bing put on his clothes and was ready to go home. Open the portal. Go straight back to the living room at home. Really? Wanda was still sitting cross-legged in the living room, meditating. Fang Bing didn't know if this should be called meditation. Anyway, listening to her heartbeat felt like falling asleep. Originally, I wanted to ask her about the big octopus in her dream. Think about it or forget it. I've never heard of Scarlet Witch having the ability to dream and predict the future. It is probably a coincidence. Moreover, look at how soundly people are sleeping now. Let her continue to sleep. The other side. Wolverine Logan after leaving London. I've been thinking about it. Do you want to contact the magic cook you met before for help? He's in big trouble now. The cause of the matter. A month ago, he has a home in a remote mountain. That's where he lived for a long time. After parting ways with his half-brother Victor after World War II. He lives in seclusion there when he has nothing to do. Over the years, I have also talked about a girlfriend. Live with him. But a month ago, Wolverine while away at work. When I got home, but unexpectedly found that his girlfriend was already lying on the ground. Blood flowed all over the place. Died. Found after examining the wound. It turned out to be exactly the same as the wound caused by his own claws. He gets it. Kill someone you love. It was his former eldest brother. Sabretooth Victor. Because Victor's ability is exactly like him. When Wolverine Logan was on duty in the army. Stumbled across the task assigned by the general. They killed innocent people indiscriminately. Many ordinary people died. that in the end, it was only for an ordinary meteorite as a collection. Unacceptable. Wolverine chose to leave the barracks. Before leaving, he wanted to persuade his half-brother Victor to go with him. But Victor didn't agree, because this eldest brother is bloodthirsty and easy to kill. He felt that it was his destiny to stay in the army and participate in the war. That's it. The two parted ways, but decades have passed in the blink of an eye. Wolverine Logan never expected. The big brother who hadn't seen him for decades reappeared. And killed his girlfriend? It is simply unbearable. He left the mountain lair. Start looking for Victor's trace. He wants revenge. Finally, after many twists and turns, Wolverine came to a military testing ground. Finally found the big brother Victor here. But also found, behind all this is General Stryker. All just to lure him here. Use him for X experiment. And his girlfriend didn't die. The dead girlfriend he saw was just a clone. The real girlfriend is in this military factory. Controlled by General Stryker. His girlfriend's sister is kidnapped by General Trask. This is used to control the girlfriend to betray Wolverine. Wolverine raged. He charged at General Trask. But he was blocked by his elder brother Victor. Because Victor has the same ability as him. Because Victor has fought on the battlefield for many years. Experience. He lost to Victor. Defeated. I fell down. Then he was captured by General Trask. Closed the laboratory. Start Experiment X. Fill him with adamantium. As a result, his whole body was wrapped in adamantium. The claws have also changed from bone claws to adamantium blades. Finally, he escaped from the lab anyway. Escaped from the military factory. Came to London. But he failed to save his girlfriend. In Stryker's lab. After seeing the power of his subordinates, Wolverine felt like she had no chance. I remembered the words of that magic cook. Take out your phone. The previously saved number was dialed. Jingle bell. Fang Bing's cell phone rang while he was meditating. Take it out and have a look. Hey, the fish is hooked. It was Wolverine Logan. Connect quickly. Hi, I'm Logan who ate your kebabs a few days ago. At that time, you said you could ask for help if you were in trouble, and gave you this contact information. Are you free now? The call just came through. On the opposite side came Wolverine Logan's vicissitudes of life. Fang Bing asked, I'm free. What trouble do you need help with? My girlfriend was kidnapped. I know you can open a portal. Can you please open a portal for me and send me to a place? Wolverine Logan felt a little nervous holding the phone. I hope the mysterious magician on the opposite side can help him. Although he also knows Circe of the Eternal Race. But Circe has unequivocally rejected his request. Because the Eternals have rules on Earth, it is not allowed to intervene in conflicts between human beings. It can only do the only task well, which is to eliminate the mutant race. No problem, I'll find you right away. After Fang Bing listened to Wolverine's request. Only then did he understand what happened to him. Although a little different from memory, but he knows. Go this time. Be sure to meet others with special abilities. Fang Bing opened the portal with one hand, walked in. Wolverine thousands of miles away, just hung up the phone. I saw an orange portal appearing in front of me. The mysterious magic cook appeared in front of him. Although I have already prepared in my heart. But it still feels amazing. But, he saw Fang Bing's ability again. I feel more confident, so he hurried forward to greet him. By the way, I told Fang Bing about my plan. After Fang Bing listened. I think this plan is a bit silly. Wolverine just used him as a mobile portal. I just want to open the portal and go in. Find the girlfriend and girlfriend's sister. Then come out from the portal. It's that simple. Well, don't you want revenge? Fang Bing asked bewitchingly. And said that he can provide proxy service. Wolverine shakes her head. He didn't want to provoke those right and wrong. Since the girlfriend is not dead, then he just wants to save his girlfriend now. Continue to live his little life. Fang Bing was helpless. It's not like Wolverine's temper. Shouldn't you just go in and kill everyone inside? How cowardly. Never mind. Let's save his girlfriend first. Then. The action begins. Because Fang Bing has never been to that military factory. So Wolverine took him all the way to the vicinity of the military factory. Only then can Fang Bing use super hearing to find out what's going on in the military factory. By the way, confirm the terrain and location inside. Only in this way can he open the portal directly. The results were less than ideal. It's okay to say outside the military factory. The level of secrecy within the X-Lab is very high. Same as Hydra Base. Extensive shielding and soundproofing materials are used. As a result, Fang Bing could not hear the movement inside. It is also impossible to open the portal directly to the destination. So, that means they're going to get in first. When Fang Bing told Wolverine the news, Wolverine was stunned. He didn't expect that there are prerequisites for the magician to open the portal. But since Fang Bing said so, he can only change the original plan. Then I'll go in first and lure the people inside away, and then you sneak in and open a portal to rescue them. Wolverine never thought about the magical magician in front of her. What combat power can you have against mutant? So soon a new plan was drawn up. After Fang Bing listened. Just nod. Nothing was explained to Wolverine. Wolverine sees Fang Bing and agrees. No more hiding. Appeared directly and rushed in. Various intense gunshots and explosions began to be heard in the military factory. Fang Bing didn't wait for Wolverine to complete the lure task. Then walked in. He ignored the ordinary soldiers with guns. Instead, he went straight to the X laboratory deep in the military factory. Now for Fang Bing. Wolverine's guiding role is over. I have achieved my goal. A possible mutant location has been found. So the words behind. The main task of Fang Bing is to find mutant. Force feeding. If you run into Wolverine's girlfriend, just open a portal to help him out. It can also be regarded as a reward for him as a leading party. Because Fang Bing came in too fast, some of the normal guards hadn't been lured away by Wolverine. Saw Fang Bing break in. Without a word, he started the attack. Fang Bing was too lazy to ink with these people. People who are attacked. Knocked down with a direct impact of electric energy. After a few minutes, he has already come to the inside of the X Laboratory 3. General Stryker is at another secret base. Remotely command everything in the military factory. He had noticed the man who had broken in with Wolverine. When Wolverine broke in just now, he sent Wolverine's big brother Victor. Go to the uniform. And the man in the surveillance who can deliver electric shocks. Just in time to test the power of his latest secret weapon. Release subject number 11 to destroy the intruders. 2 minutes later. Fang Bing wandering around in the lab. He saw a mouthless man appearing in front of him. There was a sound in my heart. He immediately recognized who the person in front of him was. Isn't this thing Deadpool? Just Deadpool with his mouth sewn up. A twisted version of Deadpool. Fang Bing is because of the X-Men related movies and TV shows he watched in his previous life. The timeline is so messed up. I have never been sure of the universe I am in. What happened to Mutant? What the hell happened to Mutant again? To which step? But seeing the moment of Deadpool. He realized it. I am now in the same scenario as Wolverine's initial encounter. Deadpool that talkative, because of cancer. He was tricked by General Stryker to do the July 47 inches test. Then it was transformed into the ghostly look it is now. General Stryker thinks he talks too much. He also purposely sewed his mouth shut during the experiment. But this version of Deadpool is really strong. Because of General Stryker's X-gene experiment. Extract the genes of other mutants. Injected into Deadpool. He obtained the super abilities of several people in one body. But there is a price. Deadpool was mind-controlled by General Stryker. Completely became a battle puppet. Deadpool in front of Fang Bing. Entered combat mode under the command of General Stryker. The long adamantium swords are stretched out from both hands. It disappeared with a swish. When it reappears. Already behind Fang Bing. A sword pierced towards his heart. When Fang Bing saw the mouthless Deadpool, just beware of his move. With super speed of reaction. Turning around to avoid the sword. But when Fang Bing turned around and punched back. Deadpool behind him disappeared instantly again. Fang Bing suddenly felt really annoying. Direct full discharge. Range attack. A circle of electricity is centered on Fang Bing. Charged towards the surroundings. Just in time to hit Deadpool who reappeared around. Deadpool shuddered from the shock. Stand still and tremble. Fang Bing took the opportunity to approach. One grasped the adamantium sword in his hand. Activated the substance transformation ability. Turn it into water. Completely abolished this ability of Deadpool. But when Fang Bing just wanted to knock this guy out with a punch. Take away when feeding slowly. Deadpool has recovered quickly. Disappeared in front of Fang Bing again. When it reappears. Already 100 meters away from Fang Bing. The eye sockets are red. 2 laser beams shot out from both eyes instantly. Hit Fang Bing who couldn't dodge. Fang Bing stretched out his arms to protect his body. Blocked the laser beam. The place on the body where the laser light hits. The flesh and blood were burned and festered. This is only because he has just acquired god-level resistance. Otherwise, it will hurt more seriously, but because of its own super strong physique. And the self-healing factor from Wolverine. His arm had just been hurt by burns. Immediately self-healing again. Cannot deal real damage to Fang Bing. Grass. Pain. Fang Bing was furious. Since getting the system, this is the first time Fang Bing has been injured. The first time someone broke his skin. Angry Fang Bing. Directly against the laser. Leaped towards Deadpool. After a second, Fang Bing is about to arrive at Deadpool's side. But before he could attack, Deadpool disappeared again. When it reappears, another 100 meters away. Start releasing laser attack again. Fang Bing didn't bother chasing him anymore. I can't catch up anymore. Instead, look like a fool. He swiped quickly with his finger. Opened a portal beside him. The other side of the portal is behind Deadpool. And he hasn't noticed it yet. The moment the portal opens, Fang Bing launched a shock of electric energy through the portal. Continuous shock. Electric Deadpool trembled again. Continue to tremble. Can't get out of Fang Bing's control. Then Fang Bing didn't bother to step into the portal again. Put your fist directly into the portal. A punch landed on the trembling Deadpool's head. Hammered his head in half. Fang Bing was not going to kill him. This is a baby. The self-healing ability possessed by this Deadpool is not comparable to that of Wolverine. Even after being beheaded by Wolverine, he survived. Hammering half of his head just made him temporarily lose his ability to move. It doesn't take long to grow back. General Stryker in the surveillance was inexplicably surprised. Subject number 11, the mouthless Deadpool, is just one of his unfinished subjects. If you can get the gene of this powerful man in front of you, wouldn't it be possible to create the most powerful super ability puppet in the world? After Fang Bing took care of the perverted version of Deadpool. Although I know that there is a General Stryker who may be peeking. But I didn't care, because in his opinion, General Stryker is of little value, and now 80% are not in this military factory. I didn't even bother to find him anymore. Just kill all the guards in the laboratory. Release the prisoners held by General Stryker. Among them was Wolverine's girlfriend, much to Fang Bing's surprise. Among the prisoners in the laboratory, several people are mutant. Although he did not know, but no matter how weak the super ability is, it is still useful. So how do you feed these people? Be a bad guy, open your mouth and stab them one by one. It's not impossible, it's just that Fang Bing had a more suitable method in mind. I'm here to save you, follow me here. Fang Bing waved and shouted at the prisoners. With one stroke, opens a portal to the outside of the military factory. Logan asked me to help you escape, eat this candy, and you can go out safely through the portal. The mutant prisoners looked at the man in front of them who had just released them. Although I don't know whether to believe him or not. But looking at the corpses in the laboratory, and board the yellow portal, there is no other choice. Especially Wolverine's girlfriend. When he heard that it was Logan who had called for the rescuers, he immediately believed it. He took the candy from Fang Bing's hand and swallowed it. Then under the direction of Fang Bing, into the portal. Seeing this, the others plucked up the courage to eat candies and pass through the portal one by one. Definitely there are also individual suspicious ones. Asked why you must eat sugar. Fang Bing just told them. This is magic candy, if you don't eat it, you will be torn apart by the portal. Then these people have to believe it or not. After all, the portals have appeared. Eating a magic candy is nothing. Then Fang Bing is done. Look at the ability lists that pop up in the system to get information. My heart blossomed with joy. Draw all. After a while, Fang Bing has finished extracting ability. There are 6 mutants in total. Fang Bing's luck is neither good nor bad. He drew 2 super abilities, because everyone has dozens of messy abilities. Count it down. His chances of drawing the super ability are already very high. Congratulations on obtaining Touch of Death V3. Congratulations on obtaining Psychokinesis IV4. After drawing the ability, Fang Bing left with Deadpool in his hand. And he didn't bother with Wolverine either. Wolverine is now fighting his big brother Sabretooth. Although Wolverine can't beat his big brother Sabretooth, but his elder brother would not kill him either. In the end, the two brotherhoods reconciled, or just Wolverine then. How could it be possible to chop off the head of the perverted version of Deadpool? And other things in the military factory have nothing to do with Fang Bing. What he has to do now. The first is to lock Deadpool up somewhere. Prevent him from recovering and running again. Then go to the test to test the newly acquired ability. After Fang Bing walked out from the portal, has come to the bottom of the sea. Arrived near Pet Minion's seabed lair, he ignored Xiao Huang who ran out of the lair to meet him. Instead, he put his hand on the ground again. A fully enclosed vibranium cell similar to the one previously used to hold Xiao 1.9 Huang was constructed. Fang Bing opened the portal. Carry Deadpool. Entered the cell that had just been prepared for him. Put Deadpool on the floor. Start using the healing ability to heal his head. Fang Bing was not afraid that Deadpool would teleport away after waking up. Because he guessed. This teleportation ability of Deadpool. It should only teleport to the place where the eyes can see. And this vibranium cage is fully enclosed, completely opaque. If Fang Bing guesses right, even if Deadpool wakes up, he won't be able to teleport out of this cell. Even if you guess wrong, Fang Bing was not worried about him running away either. This is the deep seabed. Besides, Fang Bing had already seen him. Means no matter where he goes, you can use the portal to find him directly. After a few minutes, Deadpool, whose head had already been smashed in half by Fang Bing, has returned to normal. He began to wake up slowly. Fang Bing was standing next to him, ready to see what happens to him. Did his brains all get smashed? Haven't escaped General Stryker's control yet?